Alright, so this commentary is a long time coming, so I think it's time we finally do this shit properly, right? Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another commentary, the first commentary of 2025 with Super Smash Bros. Brawl. And of course, I wasn't going to do this by myself because this one is going to be pretty big, going to be separated to 3 parts. So I brought the usual guests with me today. Uh, you guys know who they are. Say hi.
Hi.
Spring?
Spring? Spring, are you there?
Oh no. Um. It. Oh. Did the intro crap on? Oh.
Oh.
That scared me, dude.
This is Yoshi B.
And I feel Atsudani.
Hello everyone, sorry, I didn't mean to jump scare you. I thought the intro would play right away, so I was like, oh, I'm gonna do this thing.
No, this game takes a while to load. It came on a dual-layered disc.
But yeah, no, greetings everyone. I love Super Smash Brothers, I love Super Smash Bros. Brawl, and I like that my friends are here, and we're gonna talk about both of those things.
Aha! Might as well get this out of the way. So this game originally came out on a dual-layer disc, which were rare back in the Wii days. So this game is like 8 gigabytes total, which is makes it one of the biggest Wii games alongside like Xenoblade Chronicles. And I think the only reason why Xenoblade Chronicles is that big is because it contains both Japanese and English voices. So that made it big. But because of this, Brawl itself, from what I've heard, had issues playing on older Wii's and actually crapped out on them. So much so that Nintendo had to like refund a bunch, no, not a refund, but like refurbish a lot of Wii's because of this shit. Which,
Oh, I didn't know that.
yeah, I remember hearing that from like, what was the guy? Was it CJ?
I think it was CJ, because he was
yeah.
he was CJ Zero. He's a like a video game reviewer. He did a whole Smash Brothers week for like for Smash Brothers Wii U at the time, and he said that Brawl had a dark secret, which I was always interested about. What is the dark secret? And yeah, it's exactly that. Like it's a dual layer disc. That because Brawl has such a large amount of content that like yeah, older
and a
Wii
bunch
models,
of it is just the subspace cutscenes.
yeah, so it's like yeah, no Brawl. I mean, we're gonna talk about it, but this is a big game. This is a
Yes.
This is a really big game.
And it came out like if 17 years ago. Ain't that something?
Jesus
Oh
Christ.
man, we're old.
Oh, this menu, I miss this menu so much.
But we're not doing Subspace yet. So okay, because I recorded this first part like a month ago, I don't remember exactly everything I did, but I did like a run of Classic. Then I think I finished it before going to Subspace to an All Star, and I'd made a bunch of modes in between. So enjoy as I fumble. There it is, Snake. I love him.
My god, this roster looks so tiny now.
It was like 39 characters total if we include all the Pokemon and Pokemon Trainer and Zelda and Sheik separate and Samus and Zero Suit Samus separately. So
The old Twilight Princess Link model. I missed you
I miss
so, so much. Okay.
there's so much we could talk about, but let's try to keep this organized. So, what are your experiences with the Super Smash Bros. Series?
You can go first, Klaus, because I have a lot to say.
All right. So when I was like 6 years old, I got a Nintendo GameCube, and later on, I ended up getting Super Smash Bros. Melee, and that was one of my very first video games.
No, I'm kidding.
Hold your horses, Rhino.
don't
Wait
move
your
Melee,
turn.
no.
Rhino, wait your turn.
I'm kidding.
Melee
I'm
is
kidding.
better. Melee is better than 64. I don't care what you say right now.
Yeah, me.
Okay, so I got Super Smash Brothers Melee, and I remember looking at the cover and just, well, Bowser's on the cover, right? And be like, oh, Bowser, he looks so cool. And I remember seeing him in Mario Kart Double Dash. But then, you know, on the cover I saw like Link, and I'm like, who's this? Who's this little green man, right? So yeah, but Melee, of course I was a Bowser main in my youth. But then I was really fascinated by who all these other characters were, like Link, Samus, Captain Falcon, Fox. And eventually I wanted to, I wanted to like learn about all the games where all these characters were from. And I mean, that's what's so nice about the Smash series is that it has all the trophies and like it gives you a description of the characters and their game. So it's like Smash is like it's like a great it's like a video game like Hall of Fame, like a gallery.
Yeah.
And yeah, and then I ended up unlocking Mewtwo, and he was my main for a long time. I know he's not very good, but I don't care. I love
It's
my
Mewtwo.
Mewtwo.
It's funny
So
how
it's Mewtwo, guys.
two of your mains were like the weakest characters tier wise, but they're still like some of the popular characters of all time. So
Yeah. So just me loving Mewtwo and Melee. That's how he became my favorite Pokemon.
oh,
Aw.
And yeah, and it just made me like have a more appreciation for Pokemon, I guess.
I mean, have you ever thought about how Mewtwo's backstory is not too different from Shadow's?
Yeah, yes, I have plenty of times. Plenty of other people have too, like people making the death battles.
okay. So full disclosure, that's actually the worst death battle. So a shame.
I've never
Anyway,
watched it because I'm not into Death Battle.
No, I am into death battle, but that's one of the worst ones in terms of animation. But not getting ahead of myself. Klaus, continue.
Yeah. So speaking of Marth, I also ended up playing Marth a lot, and I was like, hey, what is this? What is this Fire Emblem series? And of course, as we know, Fire Emblem, loads of the Fire Emblem games haven't come over to the West. And the first one to come over here was actually like Eliwood's game, Eliwood
Yes, the
Hector.
7th.
And while I have yet to play Shadow Dragon, because of Smash, I wanted to eventually play all of the Fire Emblems, and now Fire Emblem is one of my favorite Nintendo IPs nowadays.
Yeah.
And like I've mentioned plenty of other commentaries, I love Fire Emblem Fates Conquest.
Well, we mentioned it last year, yeah.
I love it. Yeah.
What do you think about Core? No, we're not going there again.
Don't
No,
go there
we're not.
yet.
We're not at Smash 4 yet. But so Ike in this game, I love Ike in this game, and I know we're not at Subspace yet, but I like his whole thing with Marth and Meta Knight. That's great. So I did eventually play Radiant Dawn: Path of Radiance. Fantastic game. So I hope they get a remaster. Yeah. Okay. So yeah. Melee is always gonna be my favorite Smash game, despite some of its issues and very, very unbalanced tier lists. But it has like such a vibe, and it just reminds me of our childhoods when we're playing all these new games, and like games just felt a lot more magical.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, well, that's just about it for Melee, I think. And so then eventually, of course, when I got the Wii, I got Brawl. And I had a really good time playing through Subspace, like with my brother, and and then all of my friends would come over and we would all just play Super Smash Brothers Brawl. And I think like casually, like Brawl is a lot more fun to play with friends than Melee is. Yeah, because of the slower pace. I think it's so like much easier to pick up than Melee.
Yes. Melee, I feel like it's too fast at once.
Yeah. Yeah, which I think is great if you're very experienced, but if you're just, inviting your friends over and maybe they haven't played before, then if they play Melee, they're not going to enjoy it as much. Yeah, I mean, we'll be able to talk more later, but yeah, I guess Spring, you can share your
I mean,
piece.
you can talk about the rest of your Smash experience, but alright, if you want to leave it for later.
There. Yeah.
As for me, I will say that Super Smash Brothers is my favorite video game franchise of all time. Like, my experience with the series actually started with Brawl, actually. A bit late to the party, it was back in 2010, 11, I want to say. That's when I got my Wii. Before that, though, I was trying to get into, trying to see the games for the Wii. And I remember seeing constantly texture hacks for Brawl, like people putting all kinds of different characters and wacky characters like SpongeBob over Meta Knight, Pac-Man over Kirby, lots of Shadows over Sonics. And I always wanted to play for the hacks, but then as I was waiting for my birthday, because my dad said, okay, I'll get you this Smash Mario thing for your birthday. And so while I was waiting for that, I got to be in either July or August of that year. So it was like, I was waiting for my birthday at the end of the year, more or less at the end of the year in October. So while I was doing that, I was seeing all different types of Smash Brothers videos, like Brawl Taunts or Smash Kingdom, like all these wacky videos that probably haven't aged well because they're definitely
Yeah.
new ground era. But that honestly only made me more excited for the game. Like seeing, oh yeah, I'm gonna see these characters, even though their characters not in the game. Like people were already making memes back then, quote unquote memes about Mewtwo not returning in Brawl. So I was seeing like, oh, this Pokemon looks cool. I remember him from the movies and this Pokemon Stadium. Oh, he's not here. So in an indirect way, this game also made me like Mewtwo because like, oh, he's not here, and I always want to play as him.
Little did he know
Yeah.
that it wouldn't take that long.
It wouldn't take
Oh
that
my God,
long.
that actually reminded me. When I was a kid, I didn't know Mewtwo wasn't unlockable in the game, and I remember, you know how like there's like that, like the achievement, like the thing where you have to like unlock like
Yeah,
a
there's,
bunch
like,
of trophies and achievements, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
so I remember there was a Mewtwo trophy on there. I could see the silhouette. And
The
basically,
challenges.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
challenges,
the
yeah.
challenges or whatever, right? But I used, you know how like there was like the item you could use to automatically unlock
Yeah,
something.
Golden
the hammer,
hammers.
the
Yes.
hammers,
Yeah, the golden hammer. That's right. Well, anyway, I used it to unlock that Mewtwo because I thought that would make him playable, and it didn't, and I was so sad.
Oh,
That's so sad.
when you don't read the description.
Gold point? I miss
Also,
that
this
Pokemon.
guy just ate Mario.
Yeah, it's gold point.
Yeah, it's Gulpin.
So,
I don't know.
and so when I first played Brawl, I knew who Sonic was. In fact, that's the reason I noticed Super Smash Brothers in general, because Sonic was there, and I knew the Mario characters, or at least the most of them. And I knew most of the Pokemon. I think Lucario was the only one I didn't know exactly who he was, and I knew Kirby and Link, you know, because I've seen them on the internet. You know, when people do crossover with Sonic, sometimes you'd see Legend of Zelda or Kirby there randomly. So this game was really the gateway for Nintendo, for me. Like, at the point I didn't even care about doing texture hacks, because I was just that excited about these new characters, seeing them in Subspace interacting, reading the trophy descriptions, playing as them, hearing the soundtrack and all the different songs and music you could see for the characters. So Brawl, and then also there's things like the Chronicles and the Masterpieces in the gallery. Again, this game, I think, is Nintendo's Hall of Fame. They really make this game look like a museum of sorts of Nintendo. With some guests, we have Snake and Sonic, of course. But
Yes.
it really, I think, was the best gateway for me to get into Nintendo. And that's how afterwards I went for the Wii U and got the Wii U. And I got now a Switch, and I played countless other Nintendo series, including Fire Emblem.
And the one that has a game that you won't shut the fuck up about.
Yeah, but what's funny about me, I have kind of a story arc with Fire Emblem, but I'll get there when we get to Subspace. But
Yeah.
so Brawl, I got it after the hype. I still saw the hype back then. Like I also saw pictures of the gigantic rosters people were making for Brawl.
Oh my god, Goku's coming.
Yeah, Goku.
Gino, yay! Who's Gino?
Oh
I
my
don't know,
God.
but Gino.
Yeah, random dudes. People were requesting because they thought that Cloud would be impossible, even though they really weren't Cloud. And then, oh my god, Cloud appeared.
You know what's funny? I told this to Klaus once. Back in the, you know, this could be a topic all of its own, the Smash speculation. And I only got really into Smash speculation during the Smash Wii U era, and I thought it's interesting to look back on. Because here's the thing, with the Brawl, because of Snake, it really felt, from my understanding looking back in retrospective, as a retrospective, how people thought the Brawl roster would be enormous. We'll get all types of third-party guests. We get all types of characters from all games, from all the obscure series. And Gino was one of the main ones. And because, again, people wanted Cloud and Sora, for example, but they also thought, oh, it's going to be impossible. Like, Cloud is not on a Nintendo system, and Sora is Sora.
Disney.
And it's so funny looking back how we've got both Cloud and Sora, and Gino is just a Mii costume.
Funny how things will work out
Yeah.
sometimes.
Maybe the next Smash, Gino will be a fully playable.
Maybe.
What
Yeah.
with the Mario RPG is getting a revival.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we got the
remake, yeah.
remakes, and now people, the casual audience at least has an idea of who Gino is, so it is possible for the next game. So
is.
in Smash Wii U, I think there is speculation, because Brawl didn't look like this ginormous roster, things were a lot more like, I want to say, conservative, but also very restrictive. Because people say,
Yeah.
okay, Ike's gonna get the boot, we're gonna get Prom, because Roy got cut, for example. Or
Yeah.
Lucario's gonna get cut, he's gonna be replaced either by Zorwar, because at the time Gen 5 was was still
I wish we
recent.
got Zoroark.
Yeah, I wish we got Zoroark too. And our people were saying Mew Free, aka Mega Mewtwo, because Gen 6 was also making its rounds at the time, so people were thinking, oh
yeah.
maybe
Before
Mewtwo...
they revealed it was Mega Evolutions, right?
Yeah, we just saw it was a completely different form for Mewtwo, so people were thinking, oh, it's probably Mew Free.
Yeah.
So
So
people
people
say-
say the old ROM hack days. Everybody making their Mew free.
Can't wait for Mew 64.
So yeah, there was the speculation was a lot more strict. For them, third parties, people were even thinking Sonic was going to get cut, and we were going to only get Mega Man and Pac-Man, for example.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Like, it was really restrictive at first. As more and more veterans were returning, as more, like, specifically requests were being made, Little Mac, for example, like, the floodgates were being opened. There's also some room for dumb speculation that I also partake in. For example, the classic example of Ridley. Because people, me, and Klaus included, because I talked to Klaus about this, we really wanted Ridley. For me, it was ever since I saw him in the Subspace Emissary cutscenes, and because I saw in some parodies, people really wanted Ridley, and he just looked cool. As like a space dragon.
Yeah, I'm the
Like
Metric fan. I can agree. Retreat is very cool.
Yeah, like ever since I saw him in the Melee intro fighting Samus, I was like, oh, I want this purple dragon so bad.
And then there was always...
I didn't know who the hell he was. I just knew he looked cool.
Yeah. So it's like people wanted really, and it's like there's the size argument because it really is too big. It's too fucking big. And what happened was in one of the directs they showcase bosses will appear in other stages, not just this one, and they show a shadow of Ridley chasing Pikachu, but they didn't confirm Ridley. So what happened? People were speculating that Ridley still had a chance of being playable, and I was one of those people.
I was a kid. I'm the for anybody who doesn't know, I'm the youngest of this trio, and even as a kid, I knew, then that means Ridley's gonna be a boss. Okay, because at the time I also wasn't that in depth into Nintendo, so I was like, cool. You know, this was before I started getting really into the speculation stuff. So I was like, I guess probably it's gonna be a boss. But the amount of people I saw, no, it's probably gonna be a playable character in this chance, and I'm like, what?
Like I said, speculation had its moments. I was there. I also follow that trend, so I'm not the one to talk. But, yeah. As more and more characters came in, I think the speculation opened its gates, for sure. And then Ultimate was the exact opposite. I think the gates were way too open. At some point, it just really felt, anyone can make it in, so why really bother speculating? Just think of the characters you want to see and how they would interact. Because now it's like, the speculation in Ultimate was really, really chaotic in my opinion, which I didn't like it as much as Smash 4. And with the Smash 4 was more restrictive and also was annoying because of that. Because, like, you couldn't think of other third parties. No, just Mega Man and Pac-Man. That's it. No more. No Rayman. No, we only gonna get 2, for example. There was people saying this.
Yeah.
So, like...
I mean, I agree and disagree at the same time. Because, yes, it can get pretty annoying that now the floodgates are open and people just speculate for party characters. I mean, I'm guilty of that as well, because in terms of Nintendo characters, there's not that many that I want that are left. But I really just like that, the floodgates are open. You can just speculate on everybody. It's like, anybody is possible. And I actually tend to prefer that more than just the snobby restrictions that happen a lot in Smash 4 that just crumble during the DLC era of that game.
I still think Ultimate was way too chaotic for its own good, at the end of the day. But, it was definitely exciting, nonetheless. And then when I got Smash 4, I really enjoyed Smash 4 as well. I didn't play it as much as Brawl, and that's one of the main reasons. Also, nice ass Snake.
Never forget what Ultimate took from you.
Yeah. No! But yeah, no, Brawl was really the one who introduced me to Nintendo. Introduced me to a lot of series I like. For example, the Fire Emblem series. Kirby series, I played Kirby Return to Dreamland because of Brawl, and I really enjoyed that game. It's one of my favorite Wii games, and one of my favorite games of all time, Kirby's Return to Dreamland. It reintroduced me to Pokemon. I actually got more interested in Pokemon after just watching the anime on occasion, and I got Heart Gold, one of my favorite, another one of my favorite games of all time. See a pattern?
Brawl is great at introducing people to games.
And same thing happened to a lesser extent with Metroid and Zelda. I do like this series. me with Zelda and Metroid is like, I like the series. I respect them both equally. They are great. I love the characters. I love the lore, quote unquote, of the games. I love the stories. As simple as they are, I love what they can tell with both series. Playing the games, actually, it's a bit tricky. I have to be in a specific mood for Zelda. And Metroid, I don't think Metroidvanias are for me, but I still want to give the series a shot, especially the 3D stuff. And Metroid Dread, for sure, because Metroid Dread looks fun. Not very beginner-friendly from what I hear, but still fun game. But,
Yeah.
And also just with Metal Gear, and I didn't know what Metal Gear was until Brawl. I still haven't played any of the series, but I am, maybe someday. F-Zero 2, Pikmin 2, like, again, Brawl was a great...
F-Zero 99 is right there.
Like, really a great way to introduce me. And then Smash 4 was just fun to be part of the speculation. Yes, it was a bit too restrictive, it got boring after a while, and it was kind of nice to see more and more limitations being thrown to the wayside as DLC went on. And then Ultimate, the initial hype for Ultimate was something unmatched in me, like...
I literally, not fell out of my chair, but I, like, crumbled in my chair when Snake appeared and that everyone is here.
Lucas!
And I put that costume specifically for you, Klaus.
Oh, thank you, Ryan.
No problem.
So yeah, Ultimate, I think out of all the Smash games, like Ultimate is definitely my favorite, just because of the roster and the variety of stages. There's a lot to do in Ultimate. I do think, though, single-player-wise, Brawl is still the champion. Brawl still wins when it comes to single-player content. I think this is something the series never matched, has not yet matched at the time. 3DS maybe close with Smash Run, and I do like.
Doesn't compare, in my opinion.
Yeah, like
it's great. It's a fun mode, but it doesn't compare.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like they came close, but Brawl is still the champion. Like Brawl.
Yeah.
Not saying Subspace is anything like great, like gameplay wise, but it's just a nice deviation. A nice variety.
I personally really like it, to be honest.
For example, that's the problem with the World of Light. It's the same thing. You're just doing spirit battles on a board. That's literally what you're doing. You're still playing like a Smash. If that makes sense, like it's still the same gameplay. Wolf, one of my favorites.
Yay, Wolf. Yeah, I think the issue with World of Light, it's like we just want more like the actual levels to go through and feel like we're actually moving through the world.
aspect.
Like we basically want like a Kirby game, Kirby level design tacked onto a Smash game.
Yeah, Great Maze, pretty much.
The Great Maze in a way. And the one thing I will give World of Light over Subspace is that the World of Light still uses its own world, but then there's parts that are specifically dedicated to specific franchises. Like I said, we have a Mario, a Bowser Castle for Mario. We have a sort of a maze for Pac-Man. We got the World Tour for Street Fighter. We got a castle for Castlevania. The Gourmet Race for Kirby. The Lost Woods with a puzzle very akin to the Dungeons and Zelda. And the DK's World Map too, for example. I will give World of Light that. At least it used the franchise as well. It's just you're just playing Smash again, on
which makes it so that it representing other worlds doesn't feel as exciting because you're not actually
interacting with the world.
Through them.
Yeah, you're not interacting with the world.
It's not like Brawl where it was generic worlds, but they look nice, and at least you were platforming for levels. And I generally like the level design of Subspace. This playthrough that I did for the commentary reminded me that, oh shit, Subspace still holds up really well. If people are like, oh, you only like it for the cutscenes, like, no, I like to play for it. It's fun.
Yeah. I also think it's important that you don't play it in one sitting.
Yes.
Because people will say
never do that. Don't be like Johnny during the midnight launch of the game.
Yeah,
no,
and I think that still applies to World of Light as well. I think people
even more so to that game. Yeah. That game is like 20 hours.
Yeah, like you do get your money's worth when it comes to single player content, both in Brawl and Ultimate. It's just don't play it in one sitting. Like I still don't get why would you play it in one sitting? I know, it's a fighting game, so the story should be is not the main takeaway. True. But that doesn't mean that the story should be short, you know?
I mean, I think the reason why they do that is because they want to unlock all the characters right away. That's it.
I guess. But yeah, no. I really like this franchise. Like, I love the rosters. There's characters I want to see, of course. We'll get there when we talk about that. But I really love Brawl. Lots of memories as well playing with friends. Playing with family, for example. I still remember the first match I did. I was playing as Yoshi, and my dad was playing with me. He was playing as Ike. And he actually won against me. And then every time he was playing as Ike, he would spam his new... Nice.
Oh.
Yeah, call back to the Melee commentary.
When that shit happened to me again, I was like, God damn it.
And again with Ganondorf. Again with Ganondorf.
Dorf, yeah, it's like, there you go. You gotta use your Warlock Punch instead.
Oh,
Look at it go.
oh, yeah, I love it when Ganondorf Warlock punches Link in the Legend of Zelda games.
We'll get
My
that.
favorite move.
Yeah, we're gonna get there because there's a lot of things to talk about when it comes to movesets.
I mean, we could go anywhere. I mean, I'll just go over my brief history because I already told my history with the series back in my Smash 64 commentary and by extension my Melee commentary. But Brawl was that game that when I briefly saw its box in a store as a kid, I was like, this looks dark and stupid edgy, and I was not like that as a kid. I was very sanitized myself, which is odd because my family was never like that to me. So it was being that picky kid. But then I eventually got into the series thanks to Smash 4 being announced in E3 2013, and I wasn't part of the speculation till like the DLC days. But I really enjoyed, and I'm now a Smash fan. And then with Smash Ultimate, I got to meet you guys.
Yay!
So there you go. And here's me trying to show the diorama modes.
Oh, yeah.
I struggle with the controls because I rarely use this mode. So I was just like, make something stupid. I don't know.
Oh my god, yeah, I remember with the space background, I put Supersonic in it.
I remember I did so many like this. I did Supersonic versus Mario firing his Mario finale, Final Smash. I put, for example, the characters I want to see playable, like Ridley, Shadow, K. Rool. Like I did spend a lot of time with the trophy award, which is something I do miss from Ultimate, the trophies.
Mm-hmm.
Like they didn't return. I don't mind spirits. In fact, I will say a hot take right now. I prefer spirits over event matches.
I agree because event matches in Melee specifically, not so much in Brawl and to a lesser extent Smash 4, but I hated events in Melee. Like they were either boring or too frustrating. So like, but Brawl they were a bit more inoffensive. But I prefer spirits overall. I do prefer spirits just because you can tackle them in many ways.
And I like the way they managed to capture the spirit of the characters they represent. I'll give the biggest example. My boys, the Team Chaotix. Their spirits. How is their spirit fight? Vector is represented by K. Rool. SP was represented by Sonic, which I do think they should put a purple Greninja. I think that would be funny, but I guess Sonic has the same moveset as SPO, so that's why they put it like that. And Pichu with the goggles is Charmy. They're in the Lost
Recognize this, by the way? Sorry to interrupt, but recognize this.
Oh,
is it the scene from the Sonic movie?
3?
Yeah, I decided, you know what? Screw it. The space background reminds me of that scene. There you go.
Even
Took a picture of it and anything.
On, you can still see the light.
See, this is the magic of the trophy award mode. You can do whatever you want with this. It's so nice. But yeah. I forgot what I was saying actually.
Yeah, we're talking about the Team Chaotic Spirit.
Team Chaotic Spirit fight, yeah. So here I'm playing the Chaotix with those characters, King K. Rool, King K. Rool, Pichu, and Sonic. And then the song playing in the background is Sonic Heroes. And at a certain point, the characters turn invisible. That's a great way to represent the characters. We have the trio, Espio's ability of turning invisible, and the soundtrack is a song of the game they are most well known for, Sonic Heroes. And that's what I like about spirits. And if you're a fan of the character, you appreciate the references. If you're not, you try to also think, oh, I wonder what this means. Not to say all spirits are perfect.
What does it mean?
Pauline. But for the most part, I think they're fun.
Pauline was a fucking struggle, dude.
Never.
You know, I'm over it now. It's been years.
And to be fair, in one of the Sakurai presents, I think it was the Min one. Sakurai actually showed some ways to do some of the harder spirit battles.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
So that's fun. But I do like spirits. They're definitely better than what I'm seeing right now with the stickers.
Yeah, stickers are a thing, and it's hard getting all of them, but I got all of them. Am I proud? I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, I like the sticker mode because it reminds me. I used to do the same thing when I was like a kid. I used to like get a bunch of stickers and make little scenes with them. I had like a Pokemon sticker book.
Aww.
Like it had up to all the way up to Gen 4, and I used to make all these little pictures with the stickers. So it just reminds me of that.
Yeah, I find it funny that 18 volt, who is bigger than 9 volt, is has a sticker that is smaller than 9 volts.
Ah,
Wow.
size doesn't matter in Smash Brothers, isn't that right, Ridley?
hmm Also, a brief showcase of the stages I made.
That's a glitch.
Yeah, the mischievous pace. I don't know why I titled that. Gliding practice. Yeah, it showcase how this stage works because I recreated the stage in like I think Smash 4 if I remember. Yeah, because the thing is, when I played this game originally on like an emulator, this was the thing that I used the most, especially because the stages from the stage builder were the ones that ran the best on my computer. So I made a bunch of stages here, even recreating stages that were already in the game, but just a stage builder, so I could actually play the fucking stages in some way.
Yeah. I'm just reminded of I used to like make a bunch of stages, and I used to kind of like act out my own machinimas and stories.
Oh, I remember
Ooh.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Machinimas were such a thing. I remember watching Smash Tasm when I was young,
I remember watching
but
one.
unfortunately, a lot of them never finished.
I remember watching one called Silver Crisis. It was.
Oh, that was my favorite one.
You know about it, Klaus? Oh,
Yes,
bro,
I know
bro,
about
bro.
Silver Crisis. Yeah.
I
Bro,
have
bro,
no idea.
Bro,
Let me
bro,
just
bro,
listen.
bro. Did you know the creator actually finished the story as a visual novel? The story is
Oh.
finished. The story is finished. So,
Okay.
as a visual novel. So, you know what? Afterwards, I'm going to send you guys so we can play it sometime together, actually. Oh, look, it's King
Yeah.
Cable.
Thank you. Oh.
Yeah, it's photos I made over the years.
Hey, okay, yes. You want to use
But yeah,
Oh.
like Silver Crisis. That was the one I saw with Lucas and Lucar. Yeah. Oh.
Yeah,
Oh.
Lucario. Yeah, and then it's like the intro, it was supporting me
Yeah.
from BioLizard, right? And like and that intro is actually how I learned the lyrics to that song. So
And I remember when Ike appeared, they put Shun Shun from Sonic Unleashed there, and that's the first time I actually heard that song. Memories. But yes, the Smash Machinimas. They would use the custom, especially that one with the cyber background. That's the one. Either that one or the one with the mountains. That was the one you'd see all the
Yeah.
time in Machinimas back in the day. And there's so much
Dude.
stuff you can say with Smash. Oh my gosh.
Oh, Jesus. And that was the album of things I did. Now let's look at the Chronicle, because
Mickey
why not?
Mouse? Mickey Mouse?
Mouse?
Popeye?
Mickey Mouse.
I haven't played this Nintendo game. Here it is. As of 14th of March of 2008, which was the North American, I think, close to the North American release of Brawl, but I have a European copy, and we didn't get the game in Europe until June of 2008, so. Oh, Virtual Boy, and all of them are not released because Virtual Boy never was released.
Banjo-Kazooie referenced.
Banjo-Kazooie! Oh no, Kazooie is better than
Hentaro!
Kazooie.
Hentaro representation,
Hentaro's
baby!
there!
That's for you, girl, my girl!
WarioWare Twisted never came out in Europe for some
Oh.
reason.
Air Ride, Pokemon Coliseum.
XD Game of
Fire
Darkness!
Emblem!
Pokemon XD.
Nintendogs!
all the dogs. Oh, but it
Pokemon
wasn't.
Mystery
It isn't the
Dungeon,
entire...
nice. Elite Beat Agents, Chibi Robo, that's for you, Alex.
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah.
There you go.
Fire
And let me show a
Emblem.
masterpiece. So we got this and this and this. You know what? I'm tired of this commentary. Let's do a Zelda 1 commentary, shall we?
Let's go.
All right, for 2 minutes.
All right.
Oh.
I still
Greetings,
remember-
ladies
I still
and
remember-
gentlemen. Welcome to the Legend of Zelda commentary. Let me introduce you to the guests that we have today. Introduce yourselves.
Hi.
Hi, I've never beaten Zelda 1.
Oh,
I never
that's a
beaten
shame.
Zelda 1 either.
It's dangerous to go alone. Take this. So, what are your experiences with the Zelda series?
I really like Majora's Mask story, and I want to play it someday once I get rid of my anxiety, and I want to play Twilight Princess all to the end someday, because that game is really good. Same thing with
yeah,
Breath of the
yeah.
Wild.
You can never get rid of your anxiety. You have to
That's
confront it
fair.
directly.
Oh man, but yeah. So my first Zelda was Wind Waker, and it's still my favorite Zelda. I want to play more Zelda games, but I have a similar issue with Spring, is that like I really love the characters and the lore, but I have trouble sitting down and playing Zelda games. I've played Twilight Princess, and I want to replay it, the HD version, one day, because I think I'd have a better appreciation for it now. Because like the more I play things like Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, and more it makes me like miss old Zelda, 3D Zelda. And I really love Skyward Sword, and I think it's underappreciated. And I think of like the handheld Zelda games, Spirit Tracks is my favorite for sure.
Yes, for me, I grew up with Twilight Princess HD. The first Zelda game I actually played was Ocarina of Time at a cousin's house, because he had an N64, which was very interesting because that system was not popular over here in Europe. And then I had the first Zelda game I owned was Subspace HD. I had many hours in that game. I 100%ed it. Then I played Wind Waker HD not long after. I enjoyed that one as well. Eventually, I would finally play Breath of the Wild sometime after I got my Switch, and I enjoyed that as well. Even though, yeah, part of me does miss the old formula, but I feel like we can combine both the old and the new to make something pretty cool, in my opinion.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And Tears of the Kingdom is more Breath of the Wild. You like Breath of the Wild, you like Tears of the Kingdom. You don't like it, I don't know.
Oh, I forgot to say, Skyward Sword was actually my first free Zelda game. I got it for the Wii. Again,
and it's over. Fuck this Zelda commentary. We're going back to Brawl.
I still remember when, because Masterpieces returned in Smash 4, and I tried to play the Earthbound Masterpiece, but it only took the first cutscene. I didn't do anything else. Just the first.
It was like 6. Yeah, it was 6 minutes, and you could barely do anything in that game.
So why bother? So also fun fact, because I got the European version of Smash 4, they actually date Earthbound as 2013, because that's when the game came out in Europe for the first time.
Yep.
Oh wow.
Funny. Yeah, so Ness is technically a modern character, not a retro character. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, it just amazes me how I think Earthbound's actually aged pretty well. I mean, I think the beginning of the game is like the hardest part to get into for sure. It's a little bit unforgiving. Once you get past the beginning, the rest of the game is great.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, now I'm just trying to show some other things like, oh, I did this. Oh, look how much I played the game.
Let's see.
Like,
let's see, what's the... okay, okay, I didn't see it, okay.
Yes,
I think I saw
played
Snake
over
as the
200
Smash...
hours.
I think I saw Snake as the Smash champion, and I think I saw Pit as the loneliest character? I don't know.
Loneliest? No. Pit cannot be the loneliest character. Maybe someone like, I don't know, Ice Climbers?
Or Jigglypuff.
Nah, I did play Jigglypuff a little bit.
No, Rhino's not called Spring Chara. It's okay, he likes
Yeah. Now we're doing All-Star with Ike, because we like Ike.
We do like Ike.
Yeah, my dad used to play with Ike a lot. He still likes it, like, when I played with him in Smash 4, he still went back to Ike. He also played as, Little Mac. And he actually he enjoyed Ganondorf in Smash 4. And now in Ultimate, he played a lot with Incineroar.
Incineroar is one of those characters that, because I'm not a Pokemon fan, I was like, okay, Pokemon, sure. But then I played this and I was like, oh shit, he's fun.
Yeah. I actually prefer Incineroar in Smash than in the games.
Same here. I think Smash actually improved my opinion, because I never really liked Incineroar's design in the Pokemon games. Wrestler Tiger, if you can even call him a tiger. But I don't know why. I think Smash, because I don't think Smash overdid it with his hands. I think the hands look a bit smaller in Smash, so it doesn't look too awkward. And plus, I think the animations with him, when he connects an attack, he poses. When he fails an attack, he also poses. Merely show off his character, and I think, okay, that actually makes me appreciate him. And he's fun to play. That's also the most important thing. I would take the Decidueye any day, though, but Incineroar's fun.
I mean, the Decidueye, I think a lot of people wanted him because he was a grass type, and we technically don't have a separate grass type in Smash Brothers yet, which is a bit of a shame.
No, not just that, he was legit the most popular one in Gen 7. And Gen 7 seemed like... And Gen 7...
I don't follow Pokemon that much, can you tell?
Yeah, I'm just... I'm teaching you, so you don't say stuff like that anymore. So,
But, I mean, yeah. I mean, we got a wrestler, which... I'm not the biggest fan of wrestling, but I think it's a cool character archetype. I can see why Sakurai chose that.
No, because in terms of variety with moveset, I think Incineroar does have that over the Decidueye. I just think the Decidueye looks a bit cooler. Also, we don't have a bow. And
speaking of cooler,
Ice Climbers. And you know,
oh yeah.
Talk about a
remember when
character
they
I
were
never
put in
liked.
Smash 4 and people now started giving a shit about them?
Yeah, it's funny how that works, because I never really cared for the Ice Climbers in Brawl, and I didn't even like playing as them. But because they were not in Smash 4, and that's all the people sad about their absence, I'm like, you know, I kind of missed them too. They were not the most.
You only miss them when they're gone.
Yeah.
That's how life works, Rhino. Sometimes you only.
People always ask where is Ice Climbers, but not how are Ice Climbers.
But for me, the veteran I missed the most was Wolf.
Yeah, for me it was Snake, and
For
so
me,
much so that
Lucas.
when the Smash Battle was announced, he was the first character I voted for, which is why I was so excited, and basically crumbled in my chair when he was announced to come back in Smash Ultimate. So,
Also, Klaus, yours doesn't count. Lucas came back as DLC. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know, but still, I was upset and like,
No,
I
it
tried
was-
playing Ness and it just wasn't the same.
It was even worse because one of the NASA's custom moves was PK freeze or something akin to PK freeze. I was like, no,
that rubs
Lucas.
salt in the wound.
It's like, no,
Yeah.
Lucas, you're really gone. No, it came back as DLC. It was the... Because it's funny. I think the reason why I miss Wolf more than Snake is because I knew... Part of me always knew, okay, Snake's not gonna come back. I already knew, so like I was not surprised.
Yeah, there was some tumultuous times at Konami with Kojima around that time.
So like I wasn't, it was sad. I like Snake a lot, but yeah, Snake was like, oh yeah, he's not coming back. Wolf, I'm like, when he was cut alongside, Lucas, I was like, okay, they are getting rid of the clones, air quotes, even though they're not technically clones, they're more semi-clones if anything. But like they're the duplicates. So even though they added Dr. Mario, Dark Pit, and Lucina. Anyway.
From what I understand, it was like they barely had enough free time to make those Echo Fighters, as we call them now.
Yeah. So it's like, but then when Lucas came back and Roy from Melee came back, I was like, okay. So it's not necessarily a reason of them being clones, air quotes. Just then maybe Wolf will come back. We still have time with the DLC. Here's the thing: Smash 4 DLC was all over the place. We didn't have a schedule. We still didn't have for Ultimate. At least Ultimate was like, okay, we have a fighter pass. We have this number of characters, and we'll have this amount of content to expect. Thank you.
Yeah,
with
because
Smash
Smash
4, it was the Old West. Like there was nothing. We just knew Mewtwo was coming, and then randomly we got Lucas, and then there was leaks and stuff. But then we got to Roy and Ryu. And then after Ryu, we have Cloud. And then even then, like Ryu and Cloud, they were third party, so of course they got a stage. But Lucas didn't get a stage. Mewtwo didn't get a stage. Corrin, the only first party newcomer, didn't get a stage either. He only got music.
Yeah.
So it's like
Which was unfortunate.
It was so all over the place. But
and then Bayonetta, which did get a stage, did actually wrap the DLC because she actually had some remixes. Like she didn't have many remixes, but she actually had a decent chunk, like a decent quantity of music to worth a damn.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Ryu only had 2 songs and two verses of each song, and Cloud only had 2 songs and no remixes at all.
That was a big discussion point back then before our Lord and Savior Sephiroth came in and saved the day.
He came in to give us finally some Final Fantasy content besides Cloud.
I'm disappointed. He's supposed to be despair, but he gave us hope. The hell?
No, he gave us hope because he's going to take that away from us to cause us even greater despair.
No.
But yeah, no. I'm glad that the DLC was more realized than Ultimate because I was really hoping that Wolf to come back. If Lucas or Roy came back, why couldn't Wolf? So I was so sad that he missed the shot. But I'm glad.
But I guess in contrast, Ultimate's DLC was pretty much third-party written. There's just pretty much third parties, with the exception of like free characters.
To be honest, same thing happened with 4 because the only third party we got were veterans besides Corrin.
Yes, so in terms of newcomers, yes.
Yeah, so technically it's similar. Like third parties make more sense as DLC, for being honest.
Because they sell the money.
Yeah. So like that's why I think the next Smash Brothers, at least the third party newcomers should be really safe for the base game because that's what they did with Smash 4, for example.
Yeah. But I also feel like, and maybe this is just me thinking weirdly, but I feel like a lot of Smash 4's first party newcomers were just a lot of new characters. There was barely any like retro characters, and if it was retro, it was really retro, like 80s, like with Duck Hunt. There wasn't that many newcomers from like the 2000s on like Brawl, which makes sense. Because Brawl, the newest characters of the time were the 2000s characters.
Technically, Rosalina was a 2000s character. She came in 2007, and Little Mac, even though it's an 80s character, his design is more akin to his Punch-Out Wii incarnation, which was
2009, late 2000s, yeah.
So,
it was really because they were the recent games at the time, and it wasn't because, or early 2000s, like 90s, There was, remember that, people asked for King K. Rool, and
90s definitely. The SNES era is not that big represent besides the characters from specific games like K. Rool, for example, or Diddy Kong.
Yeah. But you get what I mean. A lot of Smash 4's newcomers was just the recent stuff.
We're more modern stuff, We're more modern stuff.
Yeah. And in retrospect, from a visual stance, because it was either the cartoony Mario style characters, or cartoony, or very human-esque. You know,
Oh.
there wasn't that much color variety in terms
Let's
of
see.
characters, but
Let's see, we got okay.
got Rosalina Luma.
Okay, we got Rosalina Luma, Mario character, very humanoid, anime humanoid. We got
Yeah.
Little Mac, which is again humanoid, more Western style, but still humanoid. We got Greninja, new Pokemon.
I think Japanese fans were actually pissed off when
Yeah, because
he made it.
Yeah, because they didn't know who Little Mac was.
Yeah.
Which is funny.
It's
It's
sad,
a
but
total
it is what it
contrast. It's a total contrast with how they react to Ridley, because they actually were excited for Ridley and called him Captain America.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I think maybe they also wanted Ridley to be in the game because, which is interesting because Metroid was never that popular in Japan, but I guess Ridley was the one exception. There's always exceptions to the rules.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a cool evil purple dragon. Of course.
Yeah.
So
Damn.
okay, continuing. Then we got Mega Man, which humanoid robot, anime humanoid robot, in a way.
Yeah. Anime. Yeah.
Villager with a trainer, same deal, humanoids. The Mii Fighters, still humanoids. Palutena, humanoid. Robin and Lucina, humanoid. Pit,
Shulk.
humanoid. Shulk, humanoid. Duck Hunt,
Or
Bowser
anime sword
Jr.
fighter.
You're probably speaking of Dark Pit, not Pits.
Oh,
because
sorry,
Pit was
I
Brawl.
meant Duck Pit, yeah.
Yeah, Duck
Did we say Wii Fit Trainer?
Yeah, we said.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I'm thinking base game here. So
Yeah,
yeah,
base game only,
a
so-
lot of characters in terms of overall design.
We're more
I mean, I'm not gonna
humanoid.
say that they're not unique, but there's definitely like a difference here compared to Brawl, where Brawl things felt much more balanced.
Varied.
Varies, yes.
Yeah.
Like you got DDD and Meta Knight, which were cartoony, but then you got some humanoids like Snake
an Ike, for
or
example.
Ike. Yeah, it's right here.
Yeah. And then we got Wolf, for example, which is more like on the a furry, like archetype character, like anthropomorphic. So it's also varied.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile,
Yeah,
yeah, no,
Wolf
I
is a
never
late
noticed that,
addition.
Rhino.
That's why
You're
his
right.
moveset is so funky.
I never noticed that, Ryan. You're right. The variety visually is a bit more skewed to the humanoid side.
in Smash
In
4,
Smash
which
4.
is why in retrospect the base roster of Smash 4 is not that exciting to me. Not to say that the characters aren't exciting. No, I mean I love Xenoblade. I'm happy Shulk is in, even if I didn't know much about Shulk when the game was when he was originally announced. But you know, I love that Shulk is in. But in retrospect, it wasn't as varied as it later became, and I think DLC Smash 4 helped a little bit, even if it was more humanoids. But Ultimate definitely helped, I'd say.
Yeah, because you check at least in the beginning. I do think afterwards they did skew a bit to the humanoid side again. But at first, because again they were filling in the requests, and what were the requests? It was Ridley because
There was a lot of cartoony characters.
yeah, cartoony characters because it was the
I
main
mean,
three.
Ridley's not cartoony, you know, animal.
Not humanoid. Let's put it like this: non-humanoid /
Yeah.
cartoony.
Yes.
Because okay, so let's go newcomers. We got Inkling, which yes, humanoid but also cartoony. You put Inkling next to Ike, you see the difference in design. Right?
Yes. Ike is more an anime style that is more mature,
Mature.
I'd say.
And then we got Daisy, Echo Fighter of Peach, so again like Rosalina, humanoid.
Cartoony, yeah.
Um,
But you can also think of Mario as anime if you think it hard enough.
you can think of Mario as anything if you think hard enough.
It's an isekai.
He's an isekai.
Yeah. Where's Trunk-kun?
Let's see. Then we got Ridley, which again animalist, but not humanoid. Then we got Simon and Richter, which were humanoid.
Yes.
Then we got Chrom and Dark Samus. Dark Samus is humanoid.
The kind of humanoid alien. I guess.
Alien, like in the middle, I guess. I want to say Dark Samus.
Other. That's the first category.
It's yeah, there's a fourth category, other. Then K. Rool, which he's the champion of the cartoony. Look at him.
Yes. Just look at his eye.
And then Isabelle in Sin War, cartoony. And we got Ken, humanoid. But then you look at the DLC, besides Steve and Banjo-Kazooie, which oddly enough, they're both from Microsoft,
Yeah.
everything else is anime humanoid. Even Sora.
Which is very funny because Microsoft is the company we think more of like humanoid characters and less cartoony characters
Cartoony
like Banjo.
So
What do
yeah.
you think about?
Yeah, like I think Ultimate, but also what also helped Ultimate was the fact since because all the characters returned from the previous games, which means all the cartoony characters.
Sorry
like
to interrupt, but god damn it!
Sakurai.
Yeah.
Sakurai!
Why? Why did you
I
think this
wanted
was
to
a
get
good
the heart
idea?
to like run and jump.
Oh!
But because of this, I accidentally went forward and it put me in the stage even though I wanted to heal.
And the worst part is you're gonna fight in the Pokemon stage, which has the most number of characters because you have Pikachu, Lucario, Jigglypuff, and then it's Ivysaur,
And I
Charizard.
got this stage.
Oh, this
Which-
stage! It's a fun stage, but it's so chaotic. I hate you, Palkia, so much.
Air pillar.
Wait, what were you talking about?
We're talking about
Sorry,
Yeah, and
Victor.
I sure wish we got Gen 4 remakes that looked like this good.
Good. Yeah.
When
I mean,
a
I'm not
Wii
even a
game looks
Pokemon fan,
better
and
than
I feel
a
for you guys.
when a Wii game looks more detailed than a Switch game, you
When
don't have a
Poke
problem.
Park looks better than Gen 4 remakes.
Oh, hey, Poke Park still looks fantastic to this day.
Yeah,
yeah,
it looks good.
Big-
That's what I'm
big
saying.
Pokemon games. XD looks better than
Pokemon
Right.
Channel probably looks better. I
Battle
don't know anything
Revolution
about
looks
Pokemon Channel.
better. That's a
No,
fantastic looking
Hey
game.
You Pikachu looks better.
Okay, I wouldn't go that far.
Oh, but it is a very detailed game, and I died.
Oh no.
And all because you tripped.
Yeah. Damn it. No, Nero, good to see you.
Nero for Smash.
That's what I was feeling. Is like, God damn you, Sakurai. you're
Good
tripping.
thing tripping did not return. Thank you.
Thankfully, getting coins in Brawl to like continue is way easier than Melee. So it is actually not difficult at all to continue in All-Star mode. So it's actually easier to on higher difficulties to be like, the higher difficulty of this game is intense. Yeah, it's easier because the economy of Brawl is just way better than Melee's. In Melee, you barely got coins, and here you get a shit ton of coins.
So you could say the 2000s was a rough year, but then the late 2000s, well, you got more money. Capitalism.
Which is funny because the late 2000s is where we got the economic crisis. And Charizard got beaten by a fan.
I don't mind. Take that, Charizard, you overused dragon. I do like Charizard, but he's way too overused. It's not his fault, it's Game Freak's fault.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the Pokemon Company, to be more specific.
Yeah, I never understood why in Gen 8 it's like they made Leon's ace Pokemon a Charizard. It's like, okay, why don't you give him a Generation 8 Pokemon? Charizard's gotten enough now.
Yeah. Also, it's so weird to think that Pikmin was the most recent franchise here.
Yeah, we are going by chronological order. So yes, Pikmin, and that was 2001, which was like 7 years before this.
That's also something I noticed comparing Brawl's newcomers with Smash 4 newcomers, is Brawl went out of its way to buff up some of the characters, right? As in character representation, we got Diddy Kong for Donkey Kong, we got technically another Metroid character, but it was Samus again. We got
King Dedede and Meta Knight.
Yeah, Kirby got more representation. Pokemon still got the same representation. Got more representation, I should say. Fire Emblem.
Basically filling out characters that Sakurai wanted to put in Melee, but he couldn't because of time.
Yeah, and also...
I mean, he just barely got Ganondorf out, and we know how that turned out.
Yeah. And then we got also new franchises represented. Not just recent ones like Pikmin. We got... Rob, we got Kid Icarus, we got the third parties. So,
Kid Icarus was an interesting one, yeah.
Yeah, but then in Smash 4, it's like they prioritize new series, because we got Punch-Out, we got Xenoblade.
Kid Icarus got a big buff because Uprising was a thing.
It's like, the newcomers were like this. It was either a new franchise, or it was Mario, Fire Emblem, Kid Icarus, and Pokemon. No one else got
Pretty much.
new. Yeah, like Kirby didn't get anything, Zelda didn't get anything, which at the time people were really surprised, myself included.
Yes.
Star Fox lost a character.
Yo.
Rip.
So
Which
like,
goes to show that's another thing that I also find kind of, I don't want to say lame, but disappointing about Smash 4's base roster is that it didn't really go out of its way to add more characters into series that were not as popular as like Mario and the Pokemon. Kid Icarus was an exception, but the reason why Kid Icarus got that exception in the first place was really because of Uprising.
and also I think it's, you can tell, yeah, because it's Sakurai's the one working, so of course he could use all the Kid Icarus stuff because
He had the assets.
he had the assets and he directed, so he had more control over the IP.
Yeah,
Which
but
is
really, I think it was really because of assets, because I don't think Sakurai feels the same of Kid Icarus as much as he feels for like Kirby, for example.
But then the thing is, I think that's a problem that you start really seeing in Smash 4 is that we like to think there's like a balance, each franchise gets at least some equality when it comes to getting new stuff. But 4 was really showed no. Like you said, Mario, Kid Icarus, Fire Emblem, and Pokemon got lots of stuff. Zelda got a lot of new items in the stage. That's it. Kirby, man, no new characters. Star Fox lost something. Fire Emblem especially got a lot of things. So we try to think there's like equality when there really isn't, and it's especially prominent in Ultimate when you look at Sonic and you compare him to all the third-party characters, for example.
I think you should for Ultimate. The only reason why we got a little bit more of a balance is because of the Smash ballad. Because if you look at the music section, you really see that shit is unbalanced as fuck. Like, I love Castlevania. I love its music, and yeah, great that we got all these remixes. But what about other franchises? They barely get any remakes. Sonic is a big example of this, but there's also some other franchises that barely got any remixes, like Street Fighter is the one that personally hurts me the most because there's so much cool songs throughout the entire series. And what do? Just add more from Street Fighter 2. No alpha, no free, not even the original, no 4, nothing. Just 2. And that pisses me off so much because, well, at least with Sonic, there's no new remixes. We're still stuck with that Brawl remix. But at least there's a variety of games being represented. Street Fighter, nah.
It's like the both opposite ends of the spectrum. You got Street Fighter that has like what 46 songs, but they're all repeats, and it's all the same game. Then we got Sonic, which got 20. It's funnily enough, in one of the directs, he actually showed 21 songs, but we only have 20. I think the Right There, Right On from Sonic Rush was probably there, but then they had to take it out.
I think there has been some licensing issues with that one, considering the relationship between Sega and Hideki Nakanuma, so there's something going on in there.
Yeah, I'm assuming that's what happened, because that's the only Sonic song that did not return.
And also, that same shit happened with Sonic X Shadow Generations.
Yeah,
it was substituted with Sapless. Yeah. So.
Because that's the thing. In Ultimate, I remember Sakurai saying, "Oh, the composer had a lot of free range, so they could pick all the franchises they wanted to work." And he name dropped Castlevania, Mega Man, and Fire Emblem. And you can definitely see what are the franchises that have the more music remixes. Those 3, for example, in base game at least.
And I feel like that. I get why you want to give composers free range because the songs we got were great. It's just that I think next time we really got to say to the composers, "Hey, do some remixes for other series, please, instead of just everything you want, because like it kind of goes back to that thing that why not just let the developers do what they want, but it's not, the developers aren't always correct. Not to say that the executives are correct, oh god no, but sometimes we need a balance between both of them so that the consumer gets the best product they can get. I studied marketing, I know this shit.
That's for example, you look at the Smash Brothers Ultimate soundtrack. It's a great soundtrack. I love it, and it's
over 1,000 songs.
But it's
all being packaged with a $60 game. How great!
Plus the ones on DLC. Those ones have to pay extra.
Yes.
Including one that you actually have to buy a game to get that song. Ain't that right, Kingdom Hearts?
I still don't have Melody of Memory.
I need to get that game so I can finally get the full soundtrack because that's the only song I'm missing. But for example, sometimes I do think, is Smash Bros. Ultimate soundtrack quantity over quality? Because yes, it's great songs, but for example, look at Mario. How a lot of the side stuff, like Mario Party, Paper Mario, Mario and Luigi, most of the songs we get are from the recent at the time games. Especially in Mario Party, like it took us until Smash 4 to get a Mario Party song, and it's from Mario Party 9.
Nothing from Mario Party 1, even though fucking Yasunori Mitsuda, who later on composed for the Xenoblade games, except X, composed that soundtrack. Yep. Why not get a remix? I mean, it doesn't even need to be a remix from him. It could be a remix from anybody. But why not those songs? Mario Party 2 and 3 has a lot of memorable songs from Nintendo fans. Why not include those? And then there's the GameCube era as well. 8, for fuck's sake. There's nothing there. And Mario Kart. The only Mario Kart Wii song we have is Mushroom Gorge, and I don't think we have. Do we have anything from DS or 64 or?
DS. Good question. I don't know if I have anything from DS.
Because the thing is that the Mario circuit we have for Brawl is the DS. Well, it's the figure 8 circuit from Mario Kart DS, but do we have any songs from DS?
I don't think we have a song from DS. I think I have to double check. I know the only song we have from Double Dash. We don't have anything
from Double Dash. That's for sure.
No, Double Dash. We have the Rainbow Road.
Okay.
Yeah, we have the Rainbow Road from Double Dash.
What about Super Circuit? I
don't think DS and Super Circuit have anything.
What about 64? Do you have anything from?
Has Luigi's Raceway, the remix.
Boring. Why not something cool? Like, do a remix of Color Mario Desert. That would be nice.
And then Mario Circuit is the SNES game, so yeah.
God damn it! Like, you see what you have to
Yeah.
say. You see what I mean? Because God
I
damn
mean,
it.
it's like, and also like for I'm gonna mention Fire Emblem Fates again.
Go ahead.
So
Go ahead.
why the hell do we have like 5 remixes of you
Lots of
are
fun.
the
Lots of
ocean
fun. All
that
though.
lives
I love that
destined
song,
to
but God
sing.
damn it, we
I
don't
love
need
it.
free
Okay.
remixes. Ugh.
Okay, so like,
Fates-
why do we have so many? Where is my like a Darkfall Fire? Where's like some of the banger battle themes? Like, where are they? They're gone. They're completely gone. And it's
Yeah.
like it's all for like a remix of the same song. Like, that's really lame.
A song so nice,
In
you hear it
retrospect-
4 times.
Yeah, in retrospect, I'm now thinking of like Brawl soundtrack, and that was like 256 songs if I remember correctly. But you know, we got a remix of a Fire Emblem Gaiden song, which at the time it was before Echoes was a thing, so no like English translation or nothing. It was barely known game, but we had a remix of that, and it was a really good remix that a lot of people remember. So why not get the same kind of treatment to more obscure titles? You know, I mean,
I do think Ultimate did well on that front because, for example, the Genealogy of the Holy War, for example, that's a game that's it's not being speculated it's gonna get a remake, but that got a remix in Ultimate. Like I said, Fire Emblem was kind of benefited.
I'm
in
not
Smash.
you know, but I'm using this example not so much for Fire Emblem, more so for obscure titles in
okay.
a series or any series. You know,
Yeah, no,
like,
no, that I agree. No, that I agree. Then, yeah.
I for example, we have a song from that was brought into Brawl and has just been repurposed in like Smash 4 and Ultimate, which is Golden Forest from 1080 Snowboarding. I've listened to that game's soundtrack. There's better songs than that, but sure, we got something from 1080. Where's any Wave Race songs? You could have made something interesting out of that, especially a remix. Like Wave Race 64's soundtrack is very iconic to a lot of people, so why not bring something from that? And that's just an example. There's plenty to pull from, like My Darling, Sin and Punishment. You know, that game is a great soundtrack in my opinion. But, you know, Saki, for fuck's sake, was an assist trophy in Brawl and Smash 4. Why no music for him? Huh?
No, that actually brings into another point I have to say about the soundtrack. How sometimes, for example, in Brawl, we got the Dark Woods from A Link to the Past, right?
Yes.
And then in Smash
Dark
4,
World, yeah.
we got that song again, remixed. And I'm torn because I like both songs. Both versions are great. I do like the Smash 4 remix a little bit more. But I'm wondering, why did you remix the same song again? There's other songs, even from Link to the Past, that you could have remixed. You know what I mean?
How about remixing the Zelda theme for the 17th time?
Or like literally most of the Donkey Kong remixes in Smash 4 were the jungle theme.
It's just jungle hijinks all over again. Oops, all jungle.
And then what's funny is that in Ultimate
Same thing for the stages. Donkey Kong's stages, most of them are just jungle theme. That's it.
That one I do understand. I know people say that Donkey
But there's
Kong.
like
I know there's bigger variety. I know, but think of like
nine
this.
carts at least.
But, okay, the mine carts. Okay, that's a good point because that's also iconic. Not sure why they never did.
But there you go.
Because, for example, the idea is, what's the most recognizable thing for people? Even if it's just something as simple. Oh, they played the first level. It's jungles. Same thing with Metroid. They associate with lava. I do agree.
But, like,
agree that the series have other environments. You just give a great example with the minecart stages, which I don't understand why they never did that. That's actually a really good question. You would make for a great stage. And with Metroid,
and the thing is that I get your point about it's the first environment's the one people know the most, but it's also like that doesn't mean we should always have new jungle stages over and over and over again. Like if you're bringing like other jungle stages back, then no need to make another new jungle stage. But it actually kind of brings me into my point of Smash Ultimate new stages, where I feel like structurally, like from a structure sense, they are very basic compared to a lot of other stages. That's a bit disappointing, which I understand why, because of bringing all the stages back, but that just goes to show that they didn't have enough time to make new interesting stages like previous Smash games and such. Yeah.
I mean, I can't even think of like what my favorite stage in Ultimate is because most of the time I would just be boring and just do the Final Destination or Battlefield versions of stages because it's like I don't have a favorite stage like in Melee. Like in Melee, I really loved Brinstar. I loved Temple. I liked Foresight, and even Brinstar Depths, and those are the ones I probably played on the most, right? But like, I can't think of a single stage in Ultimate where I'm like, oh yeah, I really, really love the stage and I want to play on this one all the time.
For me, I guess it's Momentous, but that's DLC.
That's
so,
DLC. I know DLC. I think the stages for DLC were really good. Besides, I want to say the Dragon Quest.
The layouts, though, some of them were pretty simple. Like, for example, did we need Hollow Bastion to just be small battlefield again? Like, come on.
That one I don't mind because the background visuals carry it. That's the thing.
But that's the thing about all the stages in Ultimate. The background visuals carry all of them.
I think the worst ones for me is just really, I think, Spring Stadium. When they tried to do a gimmick with the jumping, that's just like, that's lame.
That was okay.
And then, but for me, my least favorite is actually the Dragon Quest stage. That one, it's the most generic thing. It's another traveling stage, because, you know...
That's Dragon Quest in general.
Don't be mean, Rhino.
Sorry, I gotta be mean. Sorry. Like, like, on a serious note, I tried to give Dragon Quest XI's a shot via the demo. Couldn't even finish the demo. After a while, I was like, this isn't for me.
Which is fair. I'm gonna say that right now. It's fair. But yeah, no.
Thank God for the save data.
But yeah, no. The Dragon Quest stage is probably the least one. But yeah, on the base. Okay, let's see. The new stages in Ultimate. We got the
Great Plateau Tower from Breath of the Wild.
Breath of the Wild. We got the Mario Odyssey stage, which is another traveling stage.
I forgot.
It tells you a lot that the gimmick they showed in the direct was just, oh, you can influence the song that's playing if you get in contact with Pauline or the band players. And I'm like, yay.
Amazing. It's not like I completely forgot about that.
And it's not like, for example, that gimmick doesn't work if you play with any other song.
Yeah.
Again,
because there's so many songs in Ultimate.
Yeah. So I really feel like sometimes it's a bit quantity over quality. But it's still good quality. It's just... Gosh, we wish there was more of one specific thing. I think that's the mentality for Smash Brothers. It's like
it's not even more. Like, I think we could replace some songs with others that would just make it more varied, you know?
Yeah.
Especially at this point. I mean, we ain't topping Ultimates, so the next Smash game will probably be something cool. I hope if they scale back, which most likely will happen, but we don't know what Sakurai's thinking. But if they do scale back, that they use this opportunity to just develop a lot of single-player content and the music and stuff like that, and make stuff just more varied. Because I think that's what people want now.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want some actual Xenoblade Chronicles X music now that it's coming to Switch.
We gotta talk with Solano if he lets it, because never forget. Xenoblade X's soundtrack is actually technically on Spotify. I think you do gotta get premium for that, but it is on Spotify. It's one of the few Nintendo soundtracks. Yeah, it's one of the few Nintendo soundtracks that is on Spotify. So I'm not sure if it'll come to Nintendo Music, but
hopefully it will.
Hopefully, I mean, yeah, because Xenoblade X's soundtrack is great. But I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, I mean, in general, I mean, it's gonna be. Smash Ultimate is great in a lot of ways, but goddammit.
It's like it's a good ending to that saga, air quotes. You know what I mean?
Pretty much, yeah.
So
it's
now,
the Xehanort saga. It's over now.
Yeah, now for the new Smash game, which it will never top Ultimate. I don't think it will.
No.
So
I don't think it should even top it.
Yeah, I don't think it should even
unless they find some cuckoo way to do it, like, oh yeah, we're doing Ultimate Deluxe. Unless it's that.
Unless it's that.
Which,
I mean, I would say no.
Ultimate is so great. Why don't they just make an Ultimate too?
Yes.
Ultimate new Super Smash Brothers Ultimate new.
No. It's Super Duper Ultra Hyper Mega Smash Brothers Ultimate 2.8 Final Chapter Prologue remix featuring Dante from Devil May Cry series and Knuckles.
And Knuckles, a new funky mode. So immediately we get 3 new characters: Dante, Knuckles, and Funky Kong. And you know what? I would not say no to those 3 characters.
Me neither.
All 3 actually will work great in Smash.
Although, you know what? Let's talk about this, since I don't think we talked too much during the Sonic Adventures, the Sonic commentaries. Sonic representation in Smash Bros., especially in terms of characters. What character, if you had like the choice of bringing in a newcomer for Sonic, which one would you do? Tails, Knuckles, Shadow, Eggman, or anybody else?
Shadow. I do think Eggman would be great as like a villain if they really want to do even more villains, because I think he's the iconic villain that's missing, especially after Sephiroth.
Yes.
me personally, I wouldn't say Shadow. Not necessarily as an echo. If that was like the last straw, sure, I'll take it. It's better. It's better than nothing. But
Jeez.
I do think Shadow has enough potential to have enough different moveset from Sonic, especially now after Shadow Generations, because
Yes.
now that we've seen his new abilities, we don't know if they're going to return in a future game, but either way, they're still part of Shadow's character now, and it's being
I mean,
well received.
reinforced is use of Chaos Spear and Chaos Control, so that's something at least.
Yeah, so I think with those, just with Sonic Generations, Shadow Generations alone, you think you have enough fuel to make a unique moveset that's at least different enough from Sonic, and hopefully with a more varied design that's not just two spin dashes, because that's still perplexes me to this day.
Sonic needs a new moveset.
It really needs.
With a lot of characters, I'm very like, when it comes to new movesets, like, I would say just change a few moves. Or in Ganondorf's case, just change a decent chunk of moves. But with a lot of characters, like, for example, I feel like a lot of people miss the point with Mario. It's like, oh, let's put a lot of stuff from new games. Like, no, that's not the point with Mario. Mario's supposed to be an accessible character, so the moves that he has are perfect for newcomers to know Smash. Like, oh, there's a projectile, a reflector, a water push me off, get off of me tool, basic stuff. That's the point of Mario. But with something like Sonic, I'm like, yeah, no, this dude needs a new moveset because his current moveset is very lame.
At the very least, just give him a different side smash, a side special.
Side special, yeah.
Because
or a different down special. I mean,
no, I think down special. I think spin dash has to be the down special. That's how it is in the game.
Yeah.
Side
So,
special.
like,
There's so many options. Even before. We could have like the somersault from Sonic Adventure 2. We could have the tornado from Heroes. We could have gotten the boost from Unleashed.
Any move from Frontiers.
That was before Frontiers.
Literally
I was trying to
anything from Sonic Battle. Just look at Sonic Battle. You got a fighting game right there. Or
Yes.
What's funny is that they use Sonic Fighters. Sakurai named Sonic Fighters as an inspiration, and even then, Sonic Fighters has a lot more stuff than they showed.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just for his Force Smash, which goes to show that I think Sonic was rushed into Brawl. I'm not sure if I hear conflicting sources if he delayed the game or not, but I think he was rushed because a lot of his moves are taken from other characters, including Wolf himself, which Wolf already takes moves from plenty of other characters. Wrap your head around that one.
Now here's the question: who the one who sold first, was Sonic or Wolf?
Yes.
Yeah. Because I was about to ask. I thought that like Wolf.
No, because
was
Wolf
more
was the
from
last
Sonic.
character. I think Wolf was the last character, so technically Wolf would take from Sonic.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah,
but
because
Sonic
Wolf was
already
at
took
least Sonic.
from other characters, or it's
Yeah, 'cause at
evolved
least
because it's
Sonic
easy to
was-
animate.
Yeah, because at least Sonic was like in Subspace in some of the cutscenes, but Wolf didn't even
One
get like a
cutscene.
fancy cutscene. He was just, he was just in that weird post-game thing where he
Alongside
just shows
Jigglypuff
up
and
on
Toon
the
Link.
ship and then just beats the crap out of us.
Yeah. You said beat the crap out of us, and he timed it
you're
well
right.
with Donkey Kong just punching.
And here, okay, so to continue on what you were saying about Sonic Newcomer, I think me and Klaus both said Shadow. Klaus, you want to add anything?
Yeah, I think because Shadow deserves better than a simple Echo, but let's just say if they only have a budget of like 5 cents in a paperclip to make Shadow, they could just make him an Echo Sonic and just give it Mewtwo's recovery, right?
Yeah.
I mean that would be lame, but at least he's here. But no, with Shadow, like with all his new Doom powers that can add. I mean, there's so much you could do with that. It's right there. But even before he got all these new abilities, Shadow's like potential was already like great because if we're just looking at of course he had his Chaos Spears, he had Chaos Blast, and then if you look at Sonic 06, Shadow had all like that melee stuff, and and just incorporate a lot more like chaos things into his attacks, kind of like how like Lucas and Ness's PSI works.
Yeah.
The Shadow already had so much potential for moves. Hell, you could even, if you really want to do, you could give him Wario's motorcycle special too.
That would be funny. That would be funny.
Maybe it's like a victory animation. That'll be fun.
Yeah. So like Shadow just, he has so much potential. He'd be so cool. But
It would be
if
so
we could only
awesome. It would be so cool.
Yeah, so cool, and then his stage could be Radical Highway.
Yeah,
Oh, that
because we
would-
need something that is not
No,
green
no. Actually,
like for Sonic stages.
No, I got an idea.
Hmm.
It's the white space from Shadow Generations, but then randomly Black Doom appears and it teleports everyone to Radical Highway.
I'll take
Yeah,
it.
there you go. I'd take it.
You know, because that's what Kamek does in the new Super Mario Bros. U stage. So just replace Kamek with the Doom's Eye, and there you go.
Yeah, there's the stage morph thing in Smash Ultimate, which is a thing that I forgot about.
Yeah, I barely use that one. It's cool in concept, though.
Same thing with Smashdown. I barely use that. Squad Strike, at least I use it sometimes, but it not being online was like, ugh. But at least I used it a few times. But Smashdown and Stage Morph, I just forgot.
No, Smashdown is fun when you get all the full. I did at least twice. And again, not being online, it's not to the same extent as the other mode, but I do think if it was online, it would be fun. Just you with your friends, just playing online with friends, especially, not with randos.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
so...
I mean, look back at Brawl. In Brawl, you could actually have home run contests online. They never brought that back.
You know what else? You know what else they never brought back from Smash 4? I remember in Smash 4 playing online with a friend. We could have done a co-op against with CPUs. I remember me and my friend, we did that with Pokemon.
You can't do that.
You cannot do that. I tried to do that with my girlfriend. You can't. I don't know why they took that out.
That's
you cannot
so
add
weird.
CPU. I don't think you can add CPUs in online matches anymore.
But what?
That's weird. That's weird. Okay.
That doesn't make any sense.
Again, please fix the goddamn online. I don't ask for much.
And it's not even like my problem now is not even the connection, it's the matchmaking.
Just please fix the goddamn online. You know what? I'll sacrifice Shadow, Rayman, Nagito, whoever. I'll sacrifice any one of my favorite newcomers if the online is good. No, not good. At least has more features. I'll commit that sacrifice, please.
I won't.
I will because
I mean, I also don't have many characters I want now. Because
then okay, Ryan, you're okay if I sacrifice Dante from Devil May Cry or Travis Touchdown.
That's why.
Okay, so there you go. I'll
no,
sacrifice.
I said I'm not. I'm not gonna sacrifice.
Anyway.
Yeah.
But you know what? That's the thing. With Ultimate's roster, I don't really have many requests. Like, yeah, I still want Dante and Travis Touchdown, but Dante, I think could still happen. Travis, nah, he's not happening anymore. I've accepted that. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. And Saki would be nice, and of course Shadow. But Shadow, I mean, it could happen. But Saki, no.
I mean, I could definitely. No, I think like on the next Smash game, Shadow will definitely happen. What with the whole Hero Shadow thing and how successful it was.
And then he does come.
Yeah,
he will come. He will come. I'm feeling it.
I don't. I felt stuff before.
Rhino, he is so popular. He is so popular.
Dude, he's always been
Shadow. I know, but all the Shadow Build-A-Bears are sold out. I know.
I know, Klaus, but I don't want to set myself up for it.
I agree with Rhino, Klaus. I agree with Rhino. We all fought certain characters. Remember when everyone's saying that Zorwar, Girahim, and Magnus will shoe in Smash 4?
I mean, for fuck's sake, a Shadow in Ultimate, and then they showed only Knuckles, and then it took it till the last direct to say, oh, Shadow's an assist trophy.
And he was the first new assist trophy they showed, quote unquote. The new as in, we didn't see them before. Why?
Same thing for Isaac for Golden Sun.
God, I don't know why they waited so long to show them off. They should have just, you know, ripped the Band-Aid off earlier.
They did that
or
before.
Maybe just
they did that before with Brawl and Smash 4. Like in the daily posts, they would show assist trophies. They would show like unconfirmed characters, or at least confirmed for other roles. For Ultimate, they would just rearrange what we already knew. They were showing characters that we already knew about. They were showing stages we already knew about. Why didn't show the new stuff? You know. Yeah, it sucks, but at least you don't have us wait until the last moment to say, oh yeah, Shadow's an assist trophy, Isaac is an assist trophy, Gino is a spirit, or a Mii costume, you know?
Because the thing is that I genuinely think, I'm not sure who are the team, maybe, I don't want to say just Sakurai, but I feel like Nintendo and Sakurai probably think that, oh, we weren't able to get it, but you're happy that Isaac is in the game, or Shadow's in the game, right? No, nobody is.
Nobody is.
I'm not even a big fan of those characters. I mean, I like Shadow, but you know, I'm not the biggest fan of Isaac, even though I voted for him in Smash Brawl because, you know, I got some people convinced me about it. But why? Like, no. Like, I think they really need to learn that people would rather not see their characters like as assist trophies. People would rather not. I need to say this properly. People would rather not see their characters in the game than see them as assist trophies. There you go.
Mm-hmm.
Because it just doesn't help anybody, which is odd. Because you know when I see other fighting games having assists, and people seem to be more neutral there. Like, but in Smash Bros, no, don't even. At least that's what I see. So, yeah. Also, we started Subspace and we didn't talk about it.
Yeah.
Hold on a second, Rhino. So you asked us for our Sonic representation. How about you?
I mean, part of me, yes, there's one Shadow as well. Part of me also wants Eggman because it would be a nice villain. Or Tails because, well, Tails is number 2. But I don't know. I'd be happy with either one, and then afterwards we'd be like, okay, why did you select this character and all that stuff? You know, I'd ask, I'd probably just be wondering, oh, okay, why did Nintendo select this character, not this character? You know. But which I mean, that would be probably the most obvious one because probably it's the second most popular characters.
Yep.
But that is if that's gonna happen because, god damn it, Sonic representation is all over the place.
Yep. Again, I want Shadow to be the Sephiroth for Sonic. Shadow brings in the hope, you know, more music remixes. He has a new moveset that's more akin to his games. Actually, it feels varied. A new stage that's not Green Hill Zone or Green Zone inspired.
Yeah.
I want that to happen with Sonic, you know, have Sephiroth, and then we have Sephiroth versus Shadow, because they both have the same VAs in Japanese in the Sonic movie, because Sonic movie 3 in Japan, Shadow is dubbed by the Sephiroth's voice actor.
Which is very funny.
But yeah.
So
about
I don't know.
Subspace.
It's great that it happened with Final Fantasy. I mean, Final Fantasy 7, in terms of songs, it was pitiful. Fucking pitiful.
No, it's funny because we're playing this Pit.
Yeah.
Pitiful.
Totally intentional. We made a joke. Yay. But yeah, I mean, I'm glad that happened because Final Fantasy 7 has great songs, and we even got remixes. That's awesome.
If I'm being
Too bad
honest,
Kingdom Hearts didn't get remixes.
if I'm being honest, I think the worst represent franchise in terms of song is Dragon Quest. Either no, actually no, there's two. Either Dragon Quest or Pac-Man.
Pac-Man is such an odd case because there are very iconic Pac-Man songs, but you can also, you can definitely see that they also want to represent Namco with Pac-Man. So
I just wish, again, I don't mind his moveset not having a lot from Pac-Man World, and I don't mind the Namco arcade representation because I grew up with that. The songs are the best part to represent other franchises. Other sides of Pac-Man, I should say. Not even remixes, just put one of the songs.
yeah.
Now, only having 3, and then the rest is just arcade, Namco arcade, which is great. I love the remix they did for Galaga, for example. I love the remix they did for that Dragon game, you know? But I wish Pac-Man also got more stuff. But at least he got 3 good remixes, even though it's the same song. Now Dragon Quest has the worst versions of their respective songs.
Yeah, because of a composer being petty.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, I have, like, some people will be like, oh, focus on the art and not the artist. But for me, the art also sucks. So, I'm just gonna shit on Dragon Quest music, because I don't like it. Like, it's not good. Even like, and the thing is, oh, you probably just listened to mini remixes. No, I heard some orchestral renditions of Dragon Quest music. Don't like it. I think it's just too generic. That's Dragon Quest in a nutshell for me. It's too generic. So nothing is swaying me on that, and it just being midis because of a petty composer, and it just being 8 songs, and all of them sound like shit.
It's even worse when they showed the trailer the orchestral versions of one of the songs, and then the other song that was played did not came to Smash as a song. It only came as a victory jingle.
Yeah.
Oh look, it's Rayquaza!
Ah, Gen 3. Yeah, there's your Gen 3 representation.
What are you doing in a random lake, and why aren't you in the ozone layer?
Because you wanted to chill out here, but then he
so funny to think,
kidnap them.
It's so funny to think that he's our Gen 3 representation.
Yeah. Hey, it's not a playable character, but it's a boss, which I think it's better than an assist trophy, right?
Ridley fans would disagree with you until Ultimate.
I'm a Metroid guy. This face for Raven Fox was always weird to me. It's like, why stop with him being in his arms? Like,
yeah.
All the other freeze frames are decent, but this one is just like, what?
I do like this. Again, this is the perfect cutscene to talk about this. I love the character interactions. We have Fox saving Diddy Kong, and then they become a party. We had Pit finding Mario, so it's funny, we have the most popular video game character, then Pit, that at the time was more obscure, interacting. We got the 2 princesses, and then there's the thing that depending on who you save, the other one gets captured first. Like now we have Zelda.
You saw that I saved Zelda.
Yeah, Zelda was saved, and poor Peach was captured by Wario. We got the Donkey Kong crew now attacking Bowser. being attacked by Bowser, for example. I like these little cutscenes. The only thing I
Yeah,
wish
I
again,
just kind of wish there was some voice acting here and there.
I
mean,
don't think it's
there's one line
necessary.
from
I
Snake,
don't
but
think
that's
it's necessary. You know what I wish they did.
I like that Ultimate did that for one scene.
For one
only.
scene that didn't barely manage anything, but sure. What I like is that Ultimate puts subtitles describing what's going on. That's, I think, what's at least necessary, because even though we love these cutscenes, watching them the first time, we'd love to try to figure out what's going on.
Yeah, Sakurai did I posted this a couple of days ago, where Sakurai actually did a blog post on the dojo explaining the motivations of the characters, and I can understand like the appeal of speculating. I mean, that's a lot of Japanese media relies on like does that on a oh well, what does it mean? What does it mean? Kingdom Hearts does that plenty. So yeah, but for the coolest person who doesn't know anything, yeah.
And what I like about those notes is that they imply, and we'll see here when we see them, that King Dedede already had an idea and he was preparing himself.
Yes.
And the other thing I know is they confirmed that Mr. Game & Watch is probably the strongest character in this franchise, because they use his essence to create all these things we're seeing. That's how powerful Mr. Game & Watch is.
It starts from 2D to make 3D.
Mm-hmm.
It actually makes sense when you think about it.
And
it also makes sense from a meta point of view, because he was the first Nintendo handheld. Mm-hmm. The first Nintendo console, some would say, because some people would not count the Color TV game 15 or 6. So, there you go.
Yeah, he's kind of like he's the origin of every single video game character that's here, at least from the Nintendo side.
Yeah. I mean, even from... Yeah, I don't think there's no character older than him, even with Ultimate. There's no character older than him. Even Pac-Man is younger.
Yeah, Pac-Man is younger for a few... Yeah. No, Game & Watch is the oldest character. That's why he's the first one in All-Star mode.
Then debatably, you could say that he's the origin of everything.
Yeah. You know what? Good job, Sakurai. Or whoever wrote that story in Subspace. But again, that would have been nice to be described...
Wasn't it Hironobu Sakaguchi, the creator of Final Fantasy, that wrote the story?
Yeah, I remember hearing something like that.
Yeah. So there you go.
No,
that was Final Fantasy representation.
Yeah, I like the story in Subspace. It's nothing groundbreaking, nothing deep, but it's more than functional. It's not just character interactions, even though that's the highlight. I do like the stories we have. The only thing is, you can definitely see, because they didn't have a lot of villains, we see Bowser jump around the subspace a lot of times. We're like, wait, he was with Mario with the cliff. Now he's back in the lake with Fox and Diddy Kong.
Ganondorf is sticking on a more hands-off approach, so we don't see him that much.
Yeah, and Wario is confirmed he's trying to do his own thing.
Wario is just doing whatever he wants.
Yeah. Also, there's the argument to be made where not some of the cutscenes will commit what we in the business call character assassination, because we see Captain Falcon kill a whole bunch of Pikmin, for example.
I mean, but he's our Lord and Savior, so
And people, Wario especially in Smash is an interesting case, because you see people really do not like his characterization in Smash.
Yeah.
Even though...
But you also understand that, like, a lot of people see fart jokes as Wario in Japan.
Yeah.
It
shows again the culture dissonance between the characters.
The dissonance.
Dissonance, thank you.
Yeah.
I mean, I say that in Japan, but then in Super Mario Strikers, Wario's attack was farting, so...
But also, maybe some notes from Nintendo, I don't know.
Yeah, like, it's interesting to think. Again, it's more of a point of conversation, not necessarily a thing against or a thing forward, if that makes sense.
I just feel like... I'm not even mad about the moveset. I just kind of wish we had, like, a Wario Land stage and music.
I wish we got more from Wario Land. I am glad the Shovel Bash was back, though. And it makes more sense as a dash attack than a forward smash.
Yes.
I just wish we had at least a bit more, just a little bit more.
A little bit more, yeah.
And the stage, though,
for me, it's really stage and music.
Yeah, stage
and
music. Because we only have one song from Wario Land. It's from my beloved Wario Land Shake It, but there's a lot
of great songs in 4.
Like 4
and I do wish that, like, the original trilogy got remixes, because it would have been very interesting to hear those songs, those Chiptune sons, in remixes.
This part is giving you trouble, isn't it?
Yeah, I was a bit... Because this applies to this part and also the next part, because the next part was, like, recorded a month after this. I had a little bit of trouble readjusting to the game, but eventually I did. And for this, I legit forgot how this room went, so... Oops.
But yeah, I agree with you. Especially, I'm surprised WarioWare 4, until Ultimate, and I'm not sure about Brawl.
WarioWare 4.
Sorry, Wario Land 4 didn't get a lot, if anything. Besides, again, the spirits now in Smash Ultimate, and I'm not sure if it had any stickers in Brawl. That's probably, I'm not sure.
I'm not Maybe, but there's
Yeah, well-
also Wario Land 2 or 3, and as much as Nintendo doesn't want to talk about it, the Virtual Boy Wario Land.
No, that one I understand why they don't talk about it.
Yeah, but they fucking Tomodachi Life had a cutscene where all hail the Virtual Boy, so it's clear that they make fun of it. I just wish the games got re-released. That's all. Because
Yeah.
there's some good games in the Virtual Boy.
Yeah. But yeah, like, it's interesting to see, like, the characters interacting with the subspace. Again, maybe they're not the most accurate ones, the games we know, but hey, they're fine for what they are. I don't mind.
What about you, Klaus?
I only played one Wario game very briefly. It was yeah, it was like the WarioWare game on the GameCube.
Oh, that's
Ma-
an
ma-
interesting one.
What was it called? WarioWare.
It was Mega Micro Games, I believe.
Yeah, okay.
Because that
so,
one was multiplayer, and that
yeah,
one was pretty much an adaptation of the GBA game on consoles.
yeah, so I didn't like it. So that's my one.
I'd also say that's not the greatest WarioWare game to start. I mean, it's
Yeah,
very
but-
different from others. Doesn't
yeah,
even have a
but
story campaign.
Even so, it didn't make a very good impression on me. So personally, I don't have any interest in trying any of the Wario games as a
Oh.
result. So,
What about Wario
yeah.
Lands? That's platformer.
Not really. No.
Oh. What about but I was more asking about the subspace. What do you think about subspace?
And the
subspace.
character, and how the characters are portrayed. Actually, I have a question for you afterwards, Klaus. Go ahead first.
Yeah. Okay. So Subspace, of course, I had a really good time playing it as a kid because I like that it was multiplayer, so I played through the entire thing with my brother. So we would go to school and we'd come back and then we would do a couple levels, and I think Subspace is perfect for that. Like we were saying earlier, it's better in small doses because it's a lot. So you do a level or two and you're rewarded with all these nice little cutscenes of the characters interacting. And personally, I'm perfectly fine if they're not being voice acting because it just lets because I feel like the characters, like the way they move and like all their facial expressions, I feel like that tells you enough information. And yeah, and the Sakurai blog post actually explained the story. It was nice to get a couple more details, but I also feel like that wasn't entirely necessary because I feel like a lot of people can kind of like infer what's going on.
Unless they're dumb.
Unless they're dumb, and I guess there are plenty of dumb people playing this game, but
Well.
yeah, personally, whatever the characters' motivations are, I don't really care because to me, this is just an excuse to have all these characters just like hanging out and interact. And I don't really care what's going on in the background. I mean, if the story mode end up the characters like they're all working at a shopping mall or something, and they have to stop death or something. I mean, I would be
Sonic
down for
Sunbeam
that too.
shopping mall.
Yeah,
I
so,
know. I
like,
want a Super Smash Bros. Sitcom.
Yeah,
That would
so
be fun.
So yeah, I mean, I don't really care what the overall plot is. It's just like I was just happy to see all these characters together,
Yeah.
interact in ways that they never would have otherwise. I mean, this is pretty much it's just like it's fan fiction. It's fan fiction on the big screen, professional. fan
Mario and
fiction.
Meta Knight interacting with Snake.
It's-
Great.
Yeah.
Never
yeah,
forget,
that's
the biggest
fantastic.
piece of literature ever written is a Super Smash Bros. Brawl fanfic that's still getting updates, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. So yeah, that's great. I think like my two favorite duos was like, I mean, of course I like the Meta Knight Ike Marth trio there. I said trio there. That's great. Just these two anime swordsmen fighting with this little blob who's also a swordsman. It's just kind of funny. But of course, I absolutely love Lucas and Pokemon Trainer. And of course, I didn't know who the hell Lucas was. I mean, none of us did. Nobody outside Japan knew what a Lucas was.
And even then, probably in Japan, some of them didn't even recognize him.
Yeah,
Yep.
who is this Lucas? And so of course we'll touch more on this later. But like I feel like the character arc that Lucas goes through actually in Brawl actually reflects his game counterpart quite well. Where he starts out being very, very timid, very kind of shy, kind of lost and alone, and then he gets brave and he learns how to fight. So I feel like of all of the characters, he's like one of the most like faithful to. Oh hey, here he is. Lucas.
Speaking of
Yeah,
Lucas-
good timing,
Hey.
Klaus.
Hey. Yeah, so out of all the characters, he's like probably like closest to his game counterpart, and of course he has a lot more going on for him because he's in a story-heavy RPG. And yeah, maybe Lucas himself doesn't get a whole lot of lines. He only like says two things, but like he's just a very expressive character. He's not like a self-insert like Red Pokemon Trainer is.
Yes.
or like Mario or Link, who don't say much and are just kind of stand-ins for the player.
So Pokemon Trainer in this mode actually is a bit expressive in his facial animations. He's confident and shit, which is a nice
Yeah.
contrast to Lucas.
Yeah, it's perfect. He's like, yeah, and he acts kind of like a little bigger, big brother to Lucas.
Which is because I think
I-
Lucas is actually older than Red. I think Red is 11 and Lucas is like, what, 13, 14?
Well, Lucas, well, he starts out being 9,
Okay.
but then there's a 3-year time skip in Mother 3, and then he's like 12.
Okay, so he's
Well,
1 year older
we gotta
than
condense
Red.
it for this game.
So
Yeah.
he's like 1 year older than Red.
Yeah, yeah, it's kind of funny. And so yeah, and then of course you got the Porky statue here.
Oh.
Yeah, and I remember him like really freaking me out as a kid. I mean, look at him just marching forward and destroying everything.
Yeah, like he's
Really
indestructible.
Coming for you.
Yeah, nothing can destroy him. So yeah.
Speaking of which, I think it's really disappointing that he didn't come back as a boss in Ultimate.
In
And I
Ultimate.
remember,
Yeah.
and like for a while, I allowed myself to think that like, hey, they're making Porky a playable character.
No.
No, I let myself think that for 2 seconds. So you know, once again, that speculation, breaking hearts once again. So yeah,
The funny thing is about Porky, he's not even a spirit. I mean, he's inside the the absolutely
The
safe
absolutely
capsule.
safe
Yeah.
capsule.
Capsule.
Yeah. Which is
Yeah.
so odd. Why do you exclude like the villain of like 2 games?
I mean, especially since I mean he was a boss. I mean, he was a boss fight in this game. It's like you can't even like make reference to that at all.
Yeah, at least
Oh.
even,
so
even if you it's a rights issue because of the pictures, use the one from Brawl if you needed to.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
even then, why would it be a rights issue?
I don't know. I'm just pulling stuff out of my ass trying to explain why didn't they put Porky in some capacity in that game.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, weird.
it's definitely a very strange pick. And oh, here's this.
And yeah, look,
Okay.
it's
Yeah.
Sans Undertale.
Oh, P.
Oh yeah, it's Undertale.
Also, this is something I noticed in this game. It happened with Ness and Lucas and with Roy and Marth. How because of Smash, people think those characters interact, while in their series now they're from completely different games and
No,
in two
I mean-
different
Yeah.
pieces of time. In the
Yeah,
lore.
no, yeah, Mother 3 takes place like centuries after Earthbound, and Ness is long dead.
Yeah.
Definitely not. I mean, the only character Ness could have possibly interacted with would have been like Nintendo, but you know, because Earthbound
That
takes
was like
place
that's still like a decade or two
Yeah.
difference, right?
Yeah.
yeah, but they
I
don't.
don't see Nintendo in the original like Mario 2, right?
No, Nintendo doesn't appear. I mean, there's like fan theories that like, okay, Nintendo is Ness's father, but I don't think the timelines quite line up. Like Nintendo would only be, I think, 10 years older than Ness. So definitely not, because you know Ness's father is a very, very successful salary man. So yeah, it doesn't line up. And Earthbound's kind of like more like a remake of Mother 1 anyway. So
In many ways, yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. So yeah.
It is better. So from where I hear.
It is better, yeah.
Probably.
Yeah, Mother 1 is a game that would really benefit from getting a remake one day, because I don't think it's aged all that well. I mean, I like a lot of things about it. Like, I like the world, and I like it's an open world RPG on the NES. I mean, that's really impressive. Okay, I like the soundtrack. I like the art direction. I think I said I like the music, but yeah, it's kind of hard to go back and like play. But there's a bunch of fans making a remake of it right now called Mother Encore. So check that out when that comes out. I don't know when.
Ooh, cool. What about Mounder Free?
Well,
Oh,
This
this instead. Oh, this instead, and poor Ness.
Yep.
Will that game
Oh,
ever
he
came
died.
out of the? Will the game ever came out in the West? We don't know, but not
Come
likely.
out. Come out on the West.
Come out in the West, yeah.
I-
Will that
I
ever come
don't
out?
know.
I don't know.
no,
We'll
but,
never
you
know.
My God. Yeah, and I'm just grateful that Nintendo is just leaving the game alone for the fans to have, and that they're not gonna take that one away from us, because of course they're fully
Yeah.
aware of it. And they're like, well, we'll just let y'all have that, because whatever Nintendo would do translation-wise it would not be better than whatever Tomatoes
Because they're like
team
constrained
did.
by like rights issues and stuff like that.
Yeah,
understand.
Yeah, it has a lot to do with the music and like the
Yes.
sampling. So
It was too much. It was way more than Mother 2.
Yeah. Oh, Pokemon trainer.
Hey, look at Squirtle.
Yeah.
Squirtle. I love Squirtle. I was so happy to see him in Brawl. Squirtle.
Yeah. I was thinking of something. Yeah. Mother 3, is there something interesting that happened? So there was like a book that came out in like Japan about Mother recently that I think is officially endorsed by Nintendo and Shigetsu Toy. And they not only mention like Toby Fox in there, and they even have like an image of him, like is his dog persona is like of Mother 3 on his computer is like, I hope this game like gets released on the West eventually. And then one of the people that they credits or they give like special thanks is the guy who made the fan translation of Mother 3.
Yeah, Tomato.
So yeah, so they reference him, so they know. They're like, yeah, we're keeping that translation open. So,
Yeah, and if I remember correctly, whenever they were starting to just about getting ready to put the translation out there for download, I think somebody from Nintendo actually contacted them and said, hey, yeah, you guys really should not be doing this. But then they're like, well, we're just going to put it on anyway. Because the translation team actually offered to give Nintendo their translation for free. It's like, so, hey, you know, if you guys ever want to localize it, you can just use our translation. And, well, of course, Nintendo has not taken them up on that offer.
yeah, because when you officially endorse a product, there's so much logistics you gotta take care of. Something that is that's pretty much a fan project that doesn't have that much to work with because it's fan made. Now it's taken up to a company, it has to be legally registered and all that stuff. Things get dicey. With something like Street Fighter Cross Mega Man, that was easy, But with this, not really, no.
Yeah.
So best to just leave that translation alone, unless Nintendo can just find a way, which I don't think they will anytime soon.
Yeah, we can
Or maybe just like remake Mother 3 as it was originally made, like as a 3D game for the 64.
Yeah.
That would be interesting.
It'd be a different game, but
Yeah, that'd be so interesting because, I mean, because Mother 3 was originally going to be a much, much bigger game, but of course, whenever they finally had to move production to the GBA, they had to, of course, cut a lot of content out.
Yeah, I mean, originally they were not even thinking of that. They were just canceling the game outright until years later, where it was like, let's fucking do this.
Yeah. So I'm really, but at the end of the day, I'm grateful we got the GBA version because I think the Nintendo 64 version just kind of looked a little bit clunky, a little bit ugly, and I find the pixel art a lot more charming.
Yeah, for the early game, 3D game. Yeah.
Yeah, but but there's actually fans who are trying to remake Earthbound 64 right now. So that's pretty cool. Keep an eye on.
I hope they're able to, because I'd be very interested in playing that, especially because originally, before moving to the Nintendo 64, it was gonna be on the 64 DD.
Yeah.
It was gonna have cool stuff like being able to rewrite your saves or stuff like that. It was something cool that the 64 DD had that I forgot.
Yeah. So actually, a lot of things that they had planned in the game was like they wanted there to be the town Hasmily Village and like the change over the course of the game, like and things that you did is like, okay, in the present time you could plant a tree and you can go into the future and this tree would grow, right? And so a lot of the
Second time, is that you?
a lot of the ideas they had for like the kind of town building aspect actually went on to be incorporated into Animal Crossing.
Yes,
so
that was
that's
also a
really
64 DD title originally, but they put it over to the 64, and it came with a special cartridge that had like a time battery inside of it, so it could keep track of time.
Yeah, so pretty cool. So yeah, Mother 3. I'll never stop hoping for it, but at least I, got my cartridge with the English ROM dumped onto it that I can play anytime I want. It's pretty official. Yeah.
I'm not sure if I'll ever play the game, but it's cool that the Mother friends have that.
Out of all the Earthbound games, it's Mother 3 that I want to play the most. I tried playing Earthbound, the original. Didn't go well.
Yeah, no, I will say, I think Mother 3 is a lot more forgiving than Earthbound, so I think it's a lot easier to get into, for sure.
I'll do it for Lucas. I'll do it for you, my boy. Look at you.
No, he didn't get Mother 3. Damn.
It's okay. I'll play with my big brother from the Pokemon, which is a very niche franchise, right, Fred?
Very niche franchise called
Sure,
Pokemon.
buddy. Sure. Red just pets his head like, sure, buddy.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's kind of funny also that they are paired up together since, of course, a lot of people who worked on Mother went on to work on Pokemon Red and Blue.
Yeah,
And,
creatures.
and
Never forget
Gigu.
never forget the
and-
connections between Gagas and Mewtwo.
Yeah, pretty much
Yes.
same design. So it all comes full circle.
Yeah, so the guys who made Earthbound alongside, I think Hal did have a small contribution to that game, but it was Ape Inc. And then Ape Inc. became Creatures, and then Creatures formed with parts of well, pretty much have a stakeholder in the Pokemon Company alongside Green Freak and Nintendo. Very interesting. Bombs. But who
Boom.
shall save this tarnish? Who shall see and stop this? Well, of course, it's our local pretty anime swords fighter, Murph.
More
Yeah,
Fire
I-
Emblem! Oh boy, can I go into the Fire Emblem tangent right now? Because I have a lot to say.
Yes. You have
Okay,
plenty of time. Go ahead.
Yeah, me too.
Okay, so I'll try to keep it concise so Klaus also gets a time to shine. So, I discovered Fire Emblem, like I said, thanks to Brawl, right? My dad used to play as Ike. I barely touched Marth. I didn't know how to play as Marth, but Ike. Ike was cool. So I always wanted to play a Fire Emblem game, right?
I guess you could say you liked Ike.
Yeah. We like Ike. We like Ike.
You like
Ike.
Ike. I think it was a reference to like an old American fucking election promotion.
Yeah.
So then came Smash 4. Smash 4, I will say the indirectly, it's not just Smash games themselves introduced me to some franchises. I think the Smash Speculation Tape also introduced me to some franchises. One of them was definitely the game Fire Emblem Awakening, because people again were saying Chrom was going to be in the game, even though Robin was a more popular pick. I remember like seeing a poll in Smash Sports that said, "Oh, what's the most likely character?" Chrom was in the top 3, but then what's the character you want? Robin was there and not Chrom. So
Huh.
I guess Sakurai
Interesting.
picked well. But before that, so people were saying, I actually wanted Lucina, actually, because I thought she looked cool, even though she could be a clone of Marth, but I wanted Lucina, so I'm glad she's there. But that's here the thing. I didn't play the Fire Emblem games yet. I was just seeing, people talking about the franchises. And then when Robin, and so I thought Ike was going to get cut, and I was kind of sad, like, oh, they're going to cut Ike maybe for Chrom, so we're not going to see Ike again for a while. No, Ike came back with a new design, he looks better than ever. I was like, yay, Ike is back. And then they announced
Now it's Radiant Dawn.
Buffer. Yeah.
Buffer. And then they announced Robin and Lucina. And even though some people were like, wait, do you Fire Emblem newcomers? Even though we know Lucina's not real, is a clone character, so it's not can count as one of the main newcomers, especially in Ultimate when we see her with a little icon for the Echo Fighters. But even still, but before that. And I was actually happy for that, because again, I wanted Lucina, and Robin looked really cool. So I was happy. So, okay, 4 Fire Emblem characters. Then came the DLC. Like I said, the DLC was kind of like the Wild West in Smash 4, right?
Yes.
So, and then people, after Mewtwo was released to the game and Lucas was announced, people started to look into the files and they saw stuff for Roy, Fire Emblem,
Yes.
and Ryu from Street Fighter.
The victory jingles that were in there confirmed.
Yeah, like
the series.
it was the original one from Street Fighter 2 and the one from Brawl for the Fire Emblem one that Brawl and Smash 4 had. So,
which was a thing that I'm glad Nintendo learned, because holy shit.
yeah. But then here the thing was already started to build up inside me. It's like another Fire Emblem character. That's the thing. I started to build up like, oh, I wanted K. Rool. I wanted characters from other series that didn't get anything. We are getting another Fire Emblem? The DLC
Maybe
came.
it's because
the
I
DLC
was
came.
still young at the time.
Yeah,
but,
let me continue, right, please. I want to show you the full picture. And I played as Roy, and I actually was satisfied. It was distinct enough from Marth, because they kept it with his melee the moveset, while Marth evolved a little bit in Brawl. So I didn't mind Roy that much. But then...
wasn't quite. They didn't keep his melee moveset. They actually changed it up quite a lot.
I know.
I mean,
Sorry, but I have to correct.
I mean, okay, so, well, no, he's actually, like, pretty similar, because, like, his recovery is a little bit more...
Yeah.
I mean, his more horizontal. He has his single, like, A-jab. He's got that. So, like, pretty much, to me... And then, of course, his sword is different. Like, of course, it's more powerful at the hilt, right?
Yeah.
And then, of course,
Yeah.
it's all on fire and stuff like that. And so, and I do think Roy is nice to have back, because like Spring said, Marth is different now a little bit, like it, or more like his neutral special is really
Yeah,
what's
the neutral
different.
special was different, so that's why I
So-
thought, yeah, no, Roy at least Feels different
Yeah.
than enough from Marth.
Yes.
Then came that direct.
Uh-oh.
The thing is, I was watching with friends. I actually got quiet. Didn't rage. No, I just got quiet. The only time I showed excitement was they announced the Knuckles and Tails me costumes. That should tell you.
Damn. Not even Bayonetta.
Not even
I mean,
Bayonetta. No,
probably-
Bayonetta. Not even Bayonetta. Like, when they announced Corrin, I was just quiet. And I was disappointed. I will not sugarcoat it. I was disappointed. This is not how I wanted personally the Smash Brothers DLC for Smash 4 to end. I still look back at Corrin's inclusion and I don't see a lot of value in it. Yeah, I do think again, the moveset is different. I'm not gonna be it's a clone of Marth. No, it's not. Far from it. It's not a clone of Marth by any stretch of the imagination. But it didn't excite me at all. The trailer also didn't do it its favors. Like, the voice acting was so wonky. Big brother's big sister now! Like,
Join Horshido. No, I think I'll
join Smash.
Smash. Even that trailer does not work because like we already knew going in it was Smash. So why make why build it up that I'll join Smash? It's like that doesn't make it exciting. It's the same problem with Byleth's trailer actually.
And Byleth's trailer is even worse because at least in the Fire Emblem Fates they pick an iconic scene, and Byleth they pick the most random scene in the game. But yeah, and that actually turned me away from Fire Emblem. I don't want to play this series. Because that's the thing. I got oversaturated with Fire Emblem. I would not be bothered. And again, I was younger and I didn't play the games. This is the crucial part. I didn't play the games because I didn't want to, because I felt oversaturated. Then came 2017. They had a Fire Emblem specific direct. I was watching with friends. And they announced Fire Emblem Echoes. That was when they teased, I think, Fire Emblem Warriors.
They already teased it in the presentation, I think.
Yeah,
but
like
maybe I wouldn't be surprised if they show the same teaser again.
Yeah, so like I was saying. And then they showed Fire Emblem Heroes. And Klaus should remember that name. It's the mobile game with gacha. The gacha mobile game. And I was like, you know what? I'll give it a shot. It's free. I was playing a gacha game, a One Piece gacha game at the time. You know what? Why not? I wanted to play the Nintendo mobile games they were doing. Like, for example, I tried that social media thing they were trying. Not social media, but like the
Miitomo.
Miitomo, yeah, I tried Miitomo for a while.
Miitomo. I kind of miss Miitomo, actually.
I never got to experience it, unfortunately.
And I don't know what happened playing Fire Emblem Heroes. Maybe I just liked the characters. I liked Oboro, I liked Chrom, I liked Robin. Even Corrin was at least acceptable in that game. I don't know what Heroes did. I just got into the series thanks to Heroes. The characters they had like, what, 3 lines of dialogue that say like 3 different things, but like, it made them at least care about these characters. In a way that I was really considering. So much so I said, okay, you know what? 1 year later, I want to play Awakening. I got Awakening for the 3DS, and I very much enjoyed it. I saw the magic. I saw why people were excited, and why people afterwards they wanted Chrom, after the trailer especially. Why people wanted Robin and Lucina in the first place. I saw why, because I played their game, I saw what they entailed, and I grew to like those characters. I also grew to like other characters that the class would recognize, like the Vike, for example, Muriel, some of the child unit characters, like Morgan and Cynthia.
Owain.
Everyone loves Owain. Like, he's awesome. And that's the thing. When people say there's too much Fire Emblem representation, I do see where they're coming from. When you're not familiar with the series, seeing the same series being represented over and over and over and over and over again, and the characters do not interest you at all, like what happened with Corrin, I understand the frustration. I do also realize now that if you also don't give the series a shot, or at least try to get yourself educated in the series, you also are, I think, missing out on some games that would potentially change your life. Case in point, if I never played Fire Emblem Heroes and gave the series a shot, I would never discovered Three Houses 2 years down the line, which, as Rhino said very much well, I am annoying with this game. I love this game to bits. I love Three Houses so much. It's my favorite RPG, if you don't count Undertale. But I love this game with every fiber of my being. And I would not have played it if not for Ike being a cool character in Smash Bros. Brawl, and not for me actually giving a try to the series with Awakening and to a lesser extent Heroes. So I guess this really goes to show how it's okay to be disappointed when the character doesn't speak to you, especially if it is from the same series or is from a series that at all you're not interested in. If it's not you're not interested in, it's totally fine. At the same time, I think it's also important to see the bigger picture, and that sometimes there's gold when you least expect. That was the story arc I wanted to say. Sorry if I take too long.
Oh, yeah.
That's fine. That's fine. I just want to say one thing, which is, please, and this is to just general audiences who like, oh, I don't like that this character came in. I don't care about their game and all that stuff. But like, have you tried that game? If you can, try that game. See if it's interesting to you. Because the thing is, yeah, do I have people that I want in the game? Yes, of course. But I also am fascinated when a new character comes because I'm being introduced to something I really like. Case in point, Terry. I didn't know much about SNK. Then he got announced. I tried some of his games, and holy shit, I ended up enjoying Fatal Fury and King of Fighters. So there you go.
Again, it's okay to be disappointed. That's the thing. I also want to enforce like toxic positivity. Like, oh, we should be like grateful for these characters. No, it's okay if it's a character you don't care about. For example, sorry, Klaus, you want to go?
Oh, I was gonna say I will never be grateful for Bowser Jr. Okay, go on.
I mean, I will never be grateful for Corrin either, but you know what I mean. It's the principle of it's okay to be disappointed, but also don't let that consume you. That it blinds you to try some new things. That's what I'm trying to say. If the game, even you tried the game, didn't like it, okay, stop, put the game down, try a game you like, and that's it. But at the same time, it's nice to have an open mind. I guess that's what me and Rhino want to say.
Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's my story arc with Fire Emblem. It's so funny to think about. And all thanks to Smash. And yes, when Byleth was announced for Smash, I was excited. I do agree his trailer sucks, though. The trailer sucks. It's probably the worst one in Ultimate.
I do agree as well.
And I feel like even Sakurai, like presenting the trailer, he also kind of knew that people weren't gonna be thrilled with the trailer. Just the way
Even though he acted like a nerd about Fire Emblem right afterwards.
Yeah. And it's so funny, like with the trailer, they put that. I like to think it's intentional. When Sophus goes like, "Oh, I see. How many swordsmen are there?" Like they knew. They fucking knew.
I remember not being the biggest fan of that joke. Gotta be honest. I was just like, eh.
No,
Okay.
actually, the joke was actually a highlight for me because, again, I was excited for Byleth. Again, Three Houses fanboy, right? Even though at the time I was not that into Three Houses, I was liking the game a lot, but not into it like I am now, like obsessed mode. But even then, I look at the trailer and it's like, again, they picked a random scene. Like, and like you said, Rhino, the trailer was not put in the middle of a direct. It was a Smash Brothers specific direct. People knew as soon as Byleth appeared, okay, it's Byleth. Like, there was no surprise, no suspense. Like, why? And see if it happened with Corrin, like you were saying. Like, why?
I wonder if like, I mean, obviously there's no surprise factor there, but like, as for like a random scene, I wonder if a better scene would have been like, the beginning of the game where either where Byleth is with the three house leaders and then there's a bandit attack, and then it's like, hey, so which of us do you like the most or whatever, and then we get the choice later where which house do you want to teach. Then then Byleth could have been like, I choose to teach in Smash or something.
The House of Smash.
I mean, his tagline is Byleth joins Smash House, so yeah.
That would have worked really well, actually.
Even though it would have been a little bit of a repeat to Corrin, but
It would be better.
was better, right?
Yeah, it would be better by Corrin by default because it's not Corrin.
Yeah.
But don't you like corn?
I like Corrin. It's actually very healthy for you. And now we have the king.
Mario. Lucario.
Also, you guys notice how the Luigi trophy is the only trophy that it's not just render? It's a completely different pose.
Oh yeah.
Not sure
Wonder
why.
why
Maybe this is leftovers that he was supposed to have this pose. Because if you look at Luigi's pose in the games, like in Smash 64, it's fine. It's just him standing there. In Melee, it's still like doing his like a dash attack, like goes like yeah, and he looks like so scared with his eyes closed, like Brawl is actually the one who's the most confident one because he's holding his hat, like putting his hat on his head. It actually looks very confident. The Smash 4 one is him doing a side taunt, which is really weird. It makes for a weird amiibo. And then the ultimate one is him doing I think his jab attack where he goes like punch then hip. That's him doing the zip attack, which is again really weird why they picked those poses for Luigi, but yeah.
Luigi. Oh look, it's Link.
No, look, it's Zelda. It's Zelda. So,
Look at that texture on the Master Sword's like green parts. Ooh.
ooh, that's a bit
Ooh,
rough.
it's crunchy.
You can tell that this is a 2000 game.
Yay. How about you, Klaus? What's your story with Fire Emblem? I know we're in the Zelda characters cutscene, but what's
Well,
your
I mean,
thoughts on
I
Fire
have
Emblem?
the Zelda commentary.
It's another anime swordsman. It's all right.
Oh, look, it's Yoshi! Sorry. It's Yoshi.
Yeah. Yeah, so my experience with Fire Emblem, of course, I saw Marth in Melee, and I thought Marth was like a pretty sword-wielding princess, and I found that Marth was a dude, and I was like, oh,
Oh.
oh, yeah.
Right.
How I got into Fire Emblem is I heard the hype around Awakening, and of course, I got Awakening for 3DS, and then I like completely fell in love with it. And then I was keeping up with the Fates hype, and I got Fire Emblem Conquest, and well, I got both of them, but I started with Conquest. And I think the trailers were like really misleading because I thought Conquest was going to be about me being like a really brutal warlord, savagely taking over Hoshido so I could use the farmlands to defeat the Norians because Nor is a terrible, shitty country and everybody's starving and dying. And I was like, well, I mean, of course, that's why we want Hoshido, right? They have farmland, you know. But no, it's like instead some weird bullshit about how King Garrett. This could be some spoilers, but honestly, who cares? The story.
I mean, didn't we already spoil it in Sonic?
Yeah, we
Yeah,
did.
we did.
But, you
So,
know.
again, who cares about
Oh yeah,
Fates'
we
story?
did. We did.
Yeah.
That's the Rhino Dino 64 commentary lore. Fates is spoiled long ago by me. So you know, it's just like some stupid bullshit about hey, we are gonna take over Hoshido so we can get our corrupt warlord father who's been completely messed up by some evil sludge god, and we got to get him to sit on this magic throne so he can so we can expose his lies or something like that, you know. It's like,
What?
okay, you know what, we don't need any of that, you know. We are taking over Hoshido because we want the farmland. There we go. And that's infinitely more compelling, and it's realistic because that's why why wars are started in real life for land
Yeah, again,
and resources.
it's why I said
You
back
know.
then in the Sonic Adventure 2 commentary. It feels realistic, which is something I like in my antagonists, you know? Free Houses does that.
Yeah. Yeah, Three Houses is a great antagonist, absolutely. So, you know, and so I was disappointed with Fates' story, but the thing about Fates is like the gameplay, it's like Awakening, but it's better and it's polished. Okay, so it's like the gameplay experience is absolutely perfect, and that's why, like, at least like once a year, I go back and replay Conquest at least. It's just very fun. It's very addicting. And then in terms of just Nintendo games, Fire Emblem is my favorite one to just sit down and play for fun. So then, of course, then I got Revelation and all that. But then, so then basically from that point on, yeah, which y'all can't get anymore. But pretty much from this point on, I became a Fire Emblem fan, and so pretty much I'm gonna buy every single new Fire Emblem. So when I got Echoes on 3DS, which I think is absolutely criminally underrated. I think it has one of the best stories and some of the best characters in the entire franchise, at least so far from what I've played. Then of course I played Three Houses, and I really like Three Houses, not nearly as much as Mr. Spring here, but I think Three Houses is fantastic, and I think like I like it does do a much better job fleshing out its characters, because with a lot of the old Fire Emblems is you don't get to spend a lot of time with the characters, because like they get recruited, they get a line or two, and then they just have a couple support conversations. But because Three Houses introduces a more fleshed out hub world, you get more opportunity to spend time with these characters, and that's something that I do like. I don't like how big the monastery is, but I like that the concept is here. Okay, so
What it needed is the fast travel from Free Hopes. Because Free Hopes simplifies it so much.
Yeah, that would be nice for sure. So yeah, of course I love Three Houses. The Golden Deer, that's my like favorite house. Fear the Deer, but I think the Blue Lion route I consider to be the personal best. Then of course I got engaged, and a lot of people.
You
that
got
don't
engaged
like
now. Congratulations.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Thanks. Yeah, I'm getting married next month.
Oh, congrats. Am I
I'm
invited?
Yeah, of course you are. Of course you are.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, so I personally love Engage because it's kind of like a Fate situation. Yeah, the story and the writing, it's not good. It's nothing special, but I enjoy the characters, and I think the gameplay is fire. Okay. I had an absolute blast playing it. I put over 300 hours into it, and I played through it like 7 times in the course of 1 year. All right, so there you
Jesus Christ. Can I ask though? And this
Yeah.
comes from a Fire Emblem newbie who's only played Awakening. Would you say that Engage's plot is still better than Fates'?
Well, I don't know. It depends on how I look at it because, like Engage, I feel like knows its concept is very ridiculous and very stupid, so it doesn't try to be anything special. While whatever Fates does, it tries too hard to be convoluted and deep, but it completely falls on its face.
Then I guess
So-
Engage would be better.
Yeah, so I do find Engage easier to stomach because I didn't see any potential with the story. Because it's like, oh, this is just a goofy anniversary game where the cast lords are just stands, you know?
Yeah.
Versus Fates, where it had a lot of really cool ideas, a lot of really cool concepts, and it failed to execute any of them. So, like, in a sense, Fates is worse because of the potential. All right, so so I like that, and so I've made it a habit of like every year I try to play through a new Fire Emblem game or one I haven't played before. So I eventually did go on to play Path of Radiance and Radiant Dawn, and I really do love them, and I hope that they get a remaster one day.
Yeah.
And so let's see, I've also played, of course, Fire Emblem 7, and that's it for now. And I'm working through Sacred Stones right now.
Cool.
And then
Good luck.
yeah, thank you. And after that, I'll do Roy's game, and then I'll finally move on to like Shadow Dragon and New Mystery of the Emblem,
Yeah.
The
and then,
original or the DS remake?
the DS remake. Yeah,
Okay.
and so
I hear
and
that it's not that great, but
yeah, but I have it, so
Yeah,
just play
yeah.
that at some point. And then I'm gonna hold off on playing the Genealogy of the Holy War because I'm waiting for the remake.
The remake,
Yeah,
the remake is
yeah.
coming.
Coming,
The remake
right.
is coming.
I'm
Maybe.
really,
It is a
I'm
fair.
really wondering when that will appear.
Yeah, and then also Fire Emblem, I feel like, is a franchise that can branch outside of its games. I mean, right now it has a manga for Engage going on, but and back in the day there was an OVA, of course, covering the first Fire Emblem. We got Marth. I remember the English dub. They got the same guys that did Evangelion to do it. And Marth is voiced by Shinji's voice actor, and they changed his name to Mars, and it was kind of funny. But
Oh,
Fire
you're in
Emblem,
Lunaful. Oh, well.
yeah. So no, wait, no. No,
You're in
no, Shinji. Sorry I was talking about the Evangelion dub, right? They got Spike Spencer to voice.
Okay.
No. This is way back in the day, right now. This is really
Okay,
old.
okay.
Yeah, like,
This
like,
is before.
I was a bit confused.
like in the 90s. Like
Yeah.
in the 90s. And what's
Yeah,
funny,
yeah.
you said they changed his name from Marth
Yeah.
to Mars. That's because
Yeah.
the first Fire Emblem game has some inspiration from Greek/Roman mythology. So they call him
Oh,
Mars to
interesting.
tie in with that.
I think it was because of the TH example. Like, remember the old Eris debacle that happened back in. Like,
That too probably as well, but
Yeah.
it does make sense to be called Mars because of the inspiration. But I assume also
Yeah,
because of
I
that,
see.
it's pronunciate.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. I mean, both reasonings make sense. But anyway, so as I was saying, Fire Emblem is something where I'd like to see them try another anime with it. And then I was thinking, okay, what anime? And I was like, okay, well, Three Houses is the most popular, so I feel like I'll obviously make a Three Houses anime. But then I'm also thinking, okay, but which house would
Yeah,
we
the
follow
free
that,
house
you
split. That's
know?
the problem. The free house split.
maybe just make a new story that's just set in the Fire Emblem universe. That's an anime. Kind of like how
they
Persona
should
did it
do-
with Trinity Soul.
They should do it with Fire Emblem Heroes.
All right.
What would the story be?
Actually, Heroes actually has a story, and Heroes even has a
Oh.
little manga, which is like a 4-panel manga, which is like the characters interacting with different games. So it is feasible. The thing is, the problem with Heroes' story is at first they try to give the characters the gacha units, the Marths, the Roys, the Ikes, and everything actually a role in the story. But after like what chapter 2, book 2. Because this goes by books, right? In this book, it has like a specific number of chapters. So by book 2, they completely throw that to the wayside. They only focus on the OCs, on the new characters for heroes, and then the characters just appear, say one line, and then you fight them. So that's it.
Well, talk about underwhelming.
Yep.
Well,
But they do flesh out the characters in other ways. For example, they have a side mode called Forging Bonds, where at first it was just the characters, the new units you get, from the banners, talking to you. but now they actually are crossing over with other characters. For example, this one Yunaka from Engage. Because I'm also playing Engage, and I'm really enjoying it. I'm also playing Engage. Again, the plot is very by the numbers, not in a bad way necessarily. It's just you feel like it's by the numbers. Which would still make it better than Face, because at least it knows what it is, while Face is trying to do something else that it's not. But anyway, we have Yunaka from Engage, and she's talking to characters like Makaya and Soph from Fire Emblem Radiant Dawn. So
cool.
There's side modes that actually explore the character interactions. Maybe that could be used for a basis for an anime? I'm not sure. But yeah, no, Fire Emblem anime, I would definitely, out of all the series, I think Fire Emblem and Kid Icarus are probably the ones with anime, have anime written all over them. And Xenoblade, I guess.
I just wonder about Kid Icarus, because the series is, for lack of a better term, kind of dead.
It's dead again. It was revived for 1 year, and Smash 4 made sure Kid Icarus was still on everyone's minds, but afterwards, nothing.
Nothing.
Okay, so
it's
I
so
wonder...
weird. Sorry, just want to say this. It's
yeah.
so weird that when Kid Icarus, came back for Smash Ultimate, and all the series have their own logos, they reverted Kid Icarus' logo from the Uprising one all the way to the fucking
NES one or Game Boy?
NES one, yeah, for some reason, and I don't know why.
Yeah, it's so weird. Because like in the first trailer for Smash 4, they did like the whole montage, with the original 8 except Yoshi. Yoshi was replaced by Kid Icarus, and it was the Uprising. It was the Uprising logo, like you were saying. But then you go to the Smash website, and it's the one with like it's pink, and has like the heart symbols on it. Like,
I don't know. Yeah, go on, Klaus.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say, okay, so what with the Switch to having a little like mouse attachment, and like with Kid Icarus's Uprise's control scheme kind of being what it is with the whole reticle and stuff, I wonder if like they would consider trying to bring Kid Icarus Uprising to the Switch too.
I hope
trying
so.
to incorporate some of these new control schemes into it.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like if it's gonna come back, I mean, what other console would it come to, right? I mean, and I don't want Kid Icarus to die, because I thought Uprising was a really fun game, and it's like something, it's very different from other things that Nintendo has. I mean, because how many other, first-person shooters does Nintendo? We got Metroid Prime 4, right? Like, what else do we have? That's kind of
Kid Icarus is like a third-person shooter, not a first-person shooter.
Yeah,
so
but that's another shooter, so I thought it was
Splatoon,
very unique.
yeah,
also.
it's just Metroid Prime and Splatoon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also, what I like about Kid Icarus is the Uprising was that it had a bunch of voice acting. You could easily see the character, the charm of each character. Love that.
Yeah, I think that like Hades was such a cool villain.
Yeah. I love to see him return.
I'm surprised Smash didn't
put him in Smash.
Yeah, I'm surprised Smash, besides the trophy and the spirit, didn't do anything with him. Like, it never appears in any of the Palutena guidance things. Nothing at all. Not even in the stage, like, appear randomly on the stage or something. Nothing.
Palutena's guidance, I'm just surprised that it even came back when they added so little new conversations because of the low amount of newcomers in the base game. And then DLC is like, nah.
Yeah.
Except Piranha Plant, which most likely just tells me that, oh, maybe Piranha Plant was going to be in the base game. Yeah. So weird. But yeah, I love, for Switch 2, like, I love to see Kid Icarus Uprising come back.
Yeah, I would love to play.
And then maybe a new game, hopefully, I mean, that would be great.
That would be great.
But I feel like we don't need to tie Sakurai always to this, just because it, like, I also feel similarly to Smash Bros. Like, eventually, the series needs to continue without Sakurai.
Yeah.
Look at Kirby. We've also kind of seen over the years that Sakurai, while he is a perfectionist to a fault, I'd say, and also, come on. I'm not gonna do him in adventure mode with cutscenes in Smash 4 because the cutscenes of Brawls were uploaded online. I'm like, what a fucking stupid ass reason.
I don't understand that reasoning. Again, okay, here's what I think about the cutscenes being uploaded online. Yes, I do understand in the artist's standpoint, it is a bit frustrating. And this is not and that was not the only time Smash Bros. Got leaked beforehand. Smash Ultimate was leaked way beforehand, I think in Mexico or something like that. And Smash 4, again, the Ryu and Roy presentation was leaked like 2 days before or 1 day before. Like, so Smash Bros. Has a history of being leaked. But the thing is, it's sadly, or not even sadly, just it's par for the course. It happens to every single game Doesn't matter if the game has a big focus on story or not. It has that's what happens. It's the nature of the beast, sadly. So
I guess this was early Eternal and he was not used to it, but by the time in Smash 4, you would be used to that kind of shit.
But the thing is, the thing is with Sakurai, again, no disrespect. I respect his work a lot, for sure, but it is still a mindset he still holds on to. Like he mentioned it in one of his recent videos, and the thing is, if the justification for not having another Subspace cutscenes, it would be, oh, it takes you time. Because he did say, like, he preferred to put more effort on the trailers, which I do commend.
Which, I mean, they bring in the hype.
Yeah, they brought in the hype, like Sephiroth's trailer, Sword trailer, King K. Rool trailer, the initial shot with Inkling, and even before that, the Mega Man trailer in Smash 4, the Palutena one, the Robin one, the Punch-Out one, like, there's a lot of great trailers. Even something as Bowser Jr., which has one of the most epic trailers, and yet they saved it for after the game came out, and when people already knew Bowser Jr. was in.
Same thing happened with Duck Hunt.
With Duck Hunt, like, why did you hold off those two trailers? Anyway, if the reason was, oh, we were to use the budget for, you know, other stuff in the game, or we're gonna save that for the trailers, because the trailers, you know, bring in the more hype, that's understandable. But saying, oh, it's because people upload it online, I'm like, I don't think that's a fair statement, you know? Like, it's par for the course. That's what's gonna happen. It doesn't matter the game. Like, even Undertale is gonna get all of its style of scenes and endings posted in the video, you know? But yeah, I do understand why we don't have it for, like, in you know, a logistics way, because budget, because of time constraints, and because, you know, Ultimate's roster is, even the base game is really big, so it would be tough to think of a story that would, you know, connect everything together. And again, lack of time and lack of budget. Yeah. Or not lack of...
But they didn't even try for a worldwide, I argue. Yeah. They just put a few cutscenes. Like, the most interesting cutscene is the one they showed in Direct.
And they knew.
The others are nothing.
Yeah, and they knew, because the way they framed that initial trailer, it made the story mode look so much bigger than what it is. In my opinion. They knew exactly what they were doing, which, again, makes sense, you know, advertising the stuff. You're not going to make a lousy advertisement, you know? Right, back me up here. You're the one in marketing.
Yeah, you don't want to do that. They made the right choice with that, but it only heightens the disappointment that I feel for Light in general, not just story, but also gameplay. Like, I'm surprised that I did a New Game Plus of that mode. You know, I'm just surprised, considering how... in retrospect, like, that shit is lame. Well, I'd rather replay Subspace, you know? Yeah. Subspace, I have a good time.
For example, I see myself going back to Subspace. A good example, me and a friend of mine, while we were waiting for Ultimate, during August of that year, we played Subspace, totally legally, by the way, Nintendo. Totally legally. Yeah. Totally legally. And we had fun. We were having fun. We already knew everything that was going on. We were just having fun playing multiplayer.
Yeah, the game and the gameplay of the level design is good.
It's fun. It's nothing amazing. Not the best level design. It can get a bit frustrating, and you can get, again, if you play it more than in one sitting, it can get tiring, because at the end of the day, you're playing a beat 'em up, a platform with beat 'em up controls or fighting game controls, which can be a bit annoying, but it's functional it's more than functional, and it is fun. World of Light can be fun. For example, if you want to unlock the characters or unlock the spirits, there's a straightforward way, quote-unquote, to get the spirits, but it gets tiring way faster, much faster, and then there's no incentive to go back to it. The only reason I went back to do a New Game Plus was to, I think, get some of those achievements. If you start New Game Plus, I think you get some achievements. And because I myself wanted to do a kind of like a New Game Plus, a mode where it's like, oh, I have this specific set of spirits for this specific character, and I want to see if I can just do the whole campaign with just these specific spirits. For example, oh, there's a Mario specific spirit set, one for Luigi, you know, for all the characters, even the DLC characters, and some Mii costumes, like one for Shantae, one for Bomberman, and one for Skull Kid, because I have the Mii costumes. But then afterwards, I even stopped there. Even when you're trying to find a creative way to play this mode, it takes a while. And it's
like 20 hours, while Subspace is like 5 to 7 hours.
Yeah.
I remember Subspace feeling much longer as a kid.
Yeah. Because like it's first time playing and you're not used to the controls and like everything is new, so...
Yeah. You're also a kid, like, when you're a kid, everything feels bigger than it is, you know?
Also, Yoshi, don't you recognize Mario? Why didn't you stop him?
I think he's just confused. He's just kind of like.
And like we were saying before, depending on who you save, this cutscene is different. Like because Rhino saved Zelda. Later, Zelda got captured by Bowser again. By Bowser either way. And so there's a clone Zelda fighting, and so Mario and Pit fought her because the clone is evil. But Link only saw Zelda being attacked by Mario, and now he's fighting them. In the reverse happens. If Peach gets saved by Kirby, then she gets kidnapped by Bowser, the standard affair. And then Link and Yoshi fight Peach, and now Mario and Pit fight them because Mario's angry.
It actually took me a couple of playthroughs of Subspace to get the notification in the game that you got all the cutscenes because of these varied routes.
Yeah. Which, it's something I like on paper, but,
I mean, it's so harmless, so small that it's like,
It's harmless at the end of the day, yeah, so I don't
There's
mind
not even a challenge about it. It's just a notification that he doesn't really reward you with anything, like other notifications, so... It's just if you want to.
And you know what's funny? Technically speaking, the Subspace can have more than 300 endings, because it all depends on the number of characters you collect in before the Great Maze. There's the Subspace section, when all the characters are knocked out. And then we have the Great Maze. And you collect the characters there, right? Depending on the number of characters you collect, you can have like a lot of combinations of character posing with each other. So that means Subspace has like more than 300 endings.
Yeah. Just because of one difference at the end.
Yay. You can
also, cool arrow.
Yay. And you can technically just have, for example, I think it's Kirby, DDD, let me think. Okay, it's Kirby, DDD, Luigi, Ness, Sonic. I think he's just Bowser. Yeah, I think you can have an ending with just these 5 characters because it's the ones the game gives to you. If you don't collect anyone else, I think this is the characters. Because we have DDD, Luigi, Ness, the trio. We have Kirby because Kirby's best boy. He gets to be to save himself. Sonic because he appears at the end, right?
And
I think
save everyone.
Do you collect Wario or not? I forgot.
No, you do collect Wario, yeah.
Then I think it's just 5, yeah.
Yeah. I played it recently, so yeah. Especially because Wario's cutscene does appear like afterwards, so it could easily be removed.
Oh, Bowser. Yeah, sorry, Bowser. It's the one I was thinking. So, DDD,
yeah, Bowser. You said
Ness, Bowser, Sonic. I think those are... Yeah, you can definitely have an ending with just these 5 characters.
Kirby, like, the world was saved by a penguin, a dragon turtle, a scaredy man, a small child, and a blue hedgehog that runs fast.
And then an alien puffball.
Oh, yeah. What? And just pink.
You know what? I want to see a story with all these characters, like just this specific group of characters.
I'd love to see a new Subspace because I want to see like the characters you interact with, like the new characters we got since then.
Like
imagine what Sora would do.
Like Sora.
Imagine if the story was like light and darkness, and Sora was involved. Like
or I would love to see Snake interact with some of the other third parties, like either Joker, Bayonetta, or Mega Man. I would love to see Banjo-Kazooie reuniting with Donkey Kong, Diddy Kong, kind of like in the trailer. But then we also see Banjo-Kazooie interact with like something very serious, like Sephiroth.
And then we gotta get our obligatory Advent Children moments.
Yeah.
Cloud and Sephiroth fight.
Yeah. Because that's the thing, a lot of fans were already doing something like this in the fan art. I remember, people were pairing up Isabelle with Cloud because they were close to each other in the banner, for example. Pichu with Sephiroth because, again, they were close to each other in the banner. Cuphead and Byleth, I remember seeing a lot of fan art because, the Cuphead Mii costume was announced in the Byleth Direct, and people were more excited for that than Byleth. So, oh, it's Cuphead showing up Byleth, that's cute.
Kind of like Sans.
Sans, he completely... Oh, Sans overshadow both Banjo and Terry.
Holy shit.
That's the one of the highlights in Smash for me. Like, I know it's a Mii costume at the end of the day, but like, the way they've showed it, they got a remix. It's the only Mii costume with a remix instead of just the original song and everything. And it's like, and it looks like Sans. That's why Mii Gunner is actually my second most played character in Ultimate. True story.
Yeah. Because of Sans.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess I'll share this little story. I remember, so before the Sans Mii costume was announced, I jokingly said that if Sans made it in the Ultimate, I'd get a Sans tattoo. And then, like, of course, he made it in as a costume, and I'm like, well, I mean, but he has a song, so it's like, okay, so I guess that counts. So I in the future, I need to get a Sans tattoo, guys.
So you can then do the
Yeah.
joke. You can feel the sand crawling on your back.
Yeah.
Just crawling in my
skin.
crawl.
His wounds they will not heal. Get dunked on. Thanks for Smash.
But I actually remember not thinking much about it when I saw it. Just like, oh, Sans, what? I was just like kind of shocked.
Did you see Johnny's reaction, Rhino?
Yeah, Johnny, he was like, was he just?
No. He literally faced palm and went forward like this. Because not because he was upset, just because he was in pure disbelief.
Yeah. God, so many people were in disbelief when Sans got announced. Fuck. It was like, oh, Team Rocket, oh yeah. Nice for them to kick me costumes. And then, what?
Sans?
Sans?
And then we saw Sakurai talking about how he and Tommy Fox actually played together, and then Tommy Fox was actually winning.
And barely getting by with his rusty Japanese. Fucking hell.
Yeah.
What a success story.
Again, Toby Fox is so inspiring. He not only created a game that he saw in a dream, that was not even his main project. Again, I think Deltarune was his main project at first. And not only that game, that little quirky game that I didn't think too much about, put him on a map, was a humongous success. It led him to work with Game Freak, of Pokemon fame. Led him to meet his inspirations, Sakurai, Shigesato Itoi, for example. Yeah. And also other inspirations, like the Zune, Toho's creator, Yoko Shimomura, the composer, they did some compositions together as well. Like, he recently did some collabs again with Toho. Like, more music remixes. He's the one now with the Famitsu column instead of Sakurai. He also is working with Off, the RPG maker Off. He was inspired by it, and now he's doing the music for it. And it's a decision he did not take lightly, because Toby Fox thought he was not going to make the soundtrack justice. And he did it for free. Just because how much he wanted to value the original game. Like,
my God.
Like, this guy, he unlocked life. Like, he unlocked life forever, at least creative-wise.
Yeah, he's living the dream.
Yeah.
Woohoo. And here we are, commentating over a video game.
Talking about it, randomly.
Yeah.
Hi, Mr. Toby Fox.
It's a very casual commentary.
Wink, wink.
Wink. Oh, this is being fun.
Yeah.
But what else can I talk about? Because
you know what? Can I throw a topic at the table?
Sure.
Most hyped announcement.
Ooh, well, I did love seeing Snake come back in the other year. So I guess in a way you could say I was really hyped, but I wasn't really screaming or anything. I just fell on my chair. It was like, oh, we got so shocked from everything. I guess Castlevania, even though that got licked, I was really excited for some. And then Richter appears like, Richter, holy shit! I was actually one of the few people who knew who he was. Especially because I had played this game earlier that year. That was funny how things work. But I'm trying to think, what would be my most hyped announcements? You know what? Even though I didn't know, I knew about this character, but I didn't know much about him in this game. Like, then, honest God, maybe Clouds. Because it was just so unreal. I was like, what? What? I was so shocked. So, I guess that would be the most hype, but, they haven't brought in, like, besides really Simon and Richter, like, since then they haven't really brought a character that was, like, that I really want, so, I've just been fine since then. It's like,
Yeah, for me, back in the Smash 4 days, I was actually pretty hyped about Bayonetta, because I recently played Bayonetta 1 and Bayonetta 2, and I really enjoyed them, so, and I thought, just getting her into the game was really cool, and I mean, I know she was completely OP. I mean, she's basically the Brawl Meta Knight of Smash 4.
Yep.
Yeah.
still like what they did with her moveset with like the little combo system they had going for her. So, but like my most hyped announcement for Ultimate was Ridley. Okay, like Ridley, I was like, oh boy, I hope they add Ridley, and then they added Ridley, and I was like screaming, and I was really excited. So yeah, like I don't.
Ridley is not too big.
Yeah, no, he's not too big, and like I honestly, I think the whole Ridley's too big argument was always a little bit silly because the characters in Smash are like not to scale to their game counterparts anyhow. Because like you know Kirby is like he's like less than 30 centimeters tall. Okay, I had to think in the metric system for you Europeans.
Thank you.
Yeah. You know, Kirby's a little shrimp. And then,
How
of
much
course,
is that in American?
that's 12 inches. That's a foot long.
Ah.
Okay, Kirby is tiny. Okay, and then Bowser. You know, Bowser is a wildly different scale in like all the Mario games. So that's because you know Sunshine he's huge, in Odyssey he's pretty big, but then like in like the Mario sports games, you know he's not that big. You know, so I just think the whole scaling thing was always a little bit silly.
Also, Ridley on the original Metroid was actually relatively small.
Not even that.
Yeah.
In Metroid Prime 3, when he first appears as Metroid Ridley, he's ginormous. He grabs Samus by the hand, kind of like what he does in Brawl. When you fight him again as Omega Ridley, he's shrunken down. He's smaller. He's still big, but smaller.
Even Metro Studios News is like, yeah, it's big.
It's consistent. So I always thought the whole Ridley's too big thing was very silly. So I'm glad that we eventually got our Ridley and like
But you know the person who instigated that conversation? It was Sakurai.
It was Sakurai himself. That's the thing.
Sakurai.
Yeah, it was Sakurai because he said, how did he say it? I think it would quite be impossible if we put our best efforts into it. We may have been able to do it, but he might have been a little slow. That's what he said in Brawl. And then in Smash 4, he once again said the same thing. He would be too big. He wouldn't be Ridley anymore, which is so funny to think about. Okay, so Ridley wouldn't be Ridley if he wasn't too big. How's that Ganondorf Falcon Captain clone talking to you, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, which I mean, he changes his mind a lot,
Yeah,
but it also goes to show that Sakurai. Think better before answering this shit. Like, come on.
Yeah.
So Ridley.
I like the Shulk announcement in Smash 4 as well.
Oh, that was cool.
I remember exactly where I was. I had gone to school and on my school's Wi-Fi, Miiverse was not blocked yet. So I checked the Miiverse post and I saw Shulk and I was like,
no.
Wow, Shulk. At this point, I had not played Xenoblade Chronicles, but my brother had, and it's like one of his all-time favorite games. So you know, I was more hyped for Shulk because I knew my brother was gonna be hyped. So, but then of course I eventually did move on to play Xenoblade Chronicles, and like yeah, Shulk is a really cool character. Xenoblade Chronicles is really hype. Yeah. So.
It's one of my favorite games of all time. So that should tell you something.
I definitely want to play Xenoblade 1. Out of all Xenoblades, at least 1 or X, for sure.
X is a decent starting point, just to have different expectations for it. That's all.
Yeah, X is. I mean, they are adding story content onto it, but X's like story is definitely the weakest part of it. But like X has like really nice side quests and side content.
Yes.
Like I think some of the best side quests I've seen in any game ever. But X
you
is
can
more
play
about
online.
yeah, with your friends. It's more like X is more about the gameplay and like the world exploration. I feel.
It has a very pretty world. It still holds up 10 years later.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
But yeah, that's interesting. For me, Shulk, I didn't know much. I just knew, of Xenoblade because of X, because that had been announced. I watched Nintendo Direct, but I didn't know much about Xenoblade. And then when he appears, like, okay, I do want to try Xenoblade 1 someday. I did in 2017. And that was actually a great birthday because I got Sonic Colors, Super Mario 3D World, and Xenoblade all in one day. That was great.
That's a good lineup, actually.
Yeah. And Xenoblade 1 took me a while. Like, I was not able to finish it till years later, unfortunately. Because the final boss was kicking my ass a little bit. But I ended up loving the game. It was the first game that not only told me that, hey, RPGs can be really cool, but also one of the first games I played that really had an in-depth story and really got me into the game. Outside of Sonic Unleashed. But you saw Sonic Unleashed is Sonic Unleashed. I mentioned Clank games, but still, Xenoblade was more complex than any of those games. and it was amazing. I don't know how to properly convey my feelings, especially because it's been so long. I do want to replay the game one day, but yeah, I love Xenoblade. Ooh, spooky entrance.
Oh.
Mario, have a rotten day.
I killed him. Ah.
Oh, we're just getting his revenge, his unfounded revenge.
Hey, that's the name of a song. As for me,
Oh
I
my
think
god,
the
it all
most,
comes together.
I think my most hyped announcements were definitely K. Rool and Rayleigh because I wanted those characters for so long. Because their movements, air quotes, behind them doing the spectacular days, it sold me on the characters. I was excited for those two. Sephiroth, I think was just a great trailer all around. The Sansmi costume.
It's fucking Sephiroth.
Sansmi costume.
Who was expecting him?
Yeah, like the Sansmi costume just on principle because I love Undertale and.
Yeah.
Sora's was also really good. In the Smash 4 days, I rewatched a lot of the Mega Man 1. Just because I already knew he was in the game, but then seeing the trailer and the way they portray him and they were building up, it was really nice. The Pac-Man 1, because Pac-Man was actually my most wanted in Smash 4, and that trailer did so much justice. I also rewatched a lot of the Duck Hunt one, just because I thought it was funny. Even though I already knew Duck Hunt was in, but also because Duck Hunt was a character I actually wanted in Smash. But it always felt like, oh, out of all the retro characters, why would they pick Duck Hunt or the dog? And they actually picked it, so I was happy for that, so I watched the trailer a lot. Yeah, I would say, definitely either the K. Rool, just because I think it's the best one. I do like the Banjo-Kazooie one, but I think K. Rool's is better. And Sephiroth, I think it's the best trailer. I'm not sure
nobody was expecting Sephiroth.
And even just that, the trailer itself is great. Animation, great. The way they convey the gameplay with the scenes, greatly implemented.
And then Sora's right behind him, I'd say.
Yeah, Sora's
really
good.
It concluded Smash so well.
Sora is a great ending. I want to say Sora is a great
We
ending.
both screamed when it was Sora's like, oh my god, Sora!
Yeah, no, Sora was
we
a great
reacted
ending.
together.
Yeah, no, lots of great trailers.
I want Smash to come back just so we can have hype from trailers again.
Yeah.
To be honest.
Yeah.
It's the Smash hype cycle. But I really wonder what Sakurai is working on next because
oh look, it's back to the crocodile.
Not a year later. I love a new Smash just to get hyped all over again, or just get introduced to new characters and stuff like that.
I mean, Smash is a system seller, so I mean,
yes,
I
it will.
think
happen.
we can expect to see. We can expect to see it, of course, at some point. I mean, they'd be losing money by not making it.
Yeah.
Yes.
And the thing is, because
yeah.
Go ahead, Klaus. Sorry.
No, I was gonna say, as for Sakurai, I mean, he's been working on Smash for so long. Like, personally, I would like to see him maybe work on some other projects, like other than Smash for once. Like okay,
he's doing something new. Yeah, Kid Icarus, or something new maybe if you wanted to try something else. Because the whole thing about Meteos is that he created a game in spite of him not being the biggest fan of puzzle games. So yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. But like, this is something that would never happen because I know Sakurai isn't like really involved with developing the Kirby games anymore. And I think the last one he ever did was Kirby Air Ride. Okay, but I would love to see Kirby Air Ride 2 or Kirby Air Ride Remastered or remake
or Kirby Air Ride 3.
Free?
Yeah, just
for 2. Let's be a goat simulator.
Oh, okay.
let's go right to Kirby Air Ride 3. You know what? I would love that. Okay, because Kirby Air Ride was one of my first GameCube games, and well, of course, that was my exposure to Kirby. So I would love to see it because I mean, I just love city trial mode. I want more cities. I want more carts. That would be my dream Sakurai game.
I'd like to play that game someday. Gotta be honest. I mean, I've played it before. I have during my emulator phase, but it's been a good while. So okay. So with that being said, since this, do you guys have anything else you want to say before we conclude this first part?
Yeah. Well, what were you about to say, Spring?
What was I about to say? Oh, because when it comes to the new Smash, I think it's gonna happen sometime in the Switch 2's life cycle. And I think what's important is really what they're going to make to distinguish from Ultimate, because the Switch 2, we know, is going to be backwards compatible. Not all games will be compatible, but I think right now, Rhino explained to me once, and you can say it again, Rhino, if you want to, how it's mostly either the I forgot the name of the console, but the other version of the Switch, the
Switch Lite,
the Switch Lite, for example, like those
the
games,
small Switch, yeah.
yeah, the small Switch, or for example things like Labo or Ring Fit, most of the ones with the peripherals, those I think are the ones that are going to be affected. The other ones, I think it's a safe bet, so I think it's a safe bet to say Smash Ultimate will be compatible.
Yes. So I mean, they showcased it on the side actually, just off in the corner.
Oh really? I didn't notice that.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
then.
yeah.
Then it's more than confirmed that Smash Ultimate will be compatible with the new Switch. So, the new Smash game has a massive shoes to fill, as we've been hinting, and I really hope it's a good time, and they take focus on things that the other Smash games didn't focus on. I think that's the best way to say it.
Single player, break the targets.
Please fix the online. That's my only wish. I'll sacrifice Shadow and Rayman, but please do a good online, or at least with more features, please.
Personally, I just want to see the trailers. The
trailers too.
Because I love that hype.
And please put them back on the console. Like Brawl and Wii U had those. And I know it's pointless, but I wouldn't mind. For example, after duking it out online, just chill out and watch the K. Rool trailer or the Sephiroth trailer or the Sora trailer.
Yeah, I guess it's really a file size thing.
Yeah,
they want to preserve their quality.
Yeah. So maybe it makes sense. I mean, I'm not clamoring for it. That's not like a main feature I want to see, but it would be nice.
It would be nice to see Masterpieces return, but I understand why they didn't come back in Ultimate, because for Brawl and Smash 4, they utilized the Virtual Console as a basis. There was no Virtual Console at the time of Smash Ultimate, only NSO, and that was only NES games, and I think that would be very underwhelming for Masterpieces. I mean, it was already in Smash 4 with no Nintendo 64 stuff, so...
Yeah, so... Definitely a lot of things. Again, it's to focus on things they didn't focus before, to make the new Smash game, whenever it's released, whenever it's announced, and whatever it is, make it stand out from Ultimate. Because Ultimate... I know we kind of griped on it a lot, looking back at this commentary, but I do think it's because we are past the honeymoon phase in that game. We did all we could do with that game. We don't touch it as much before. We still play it. I still play it with my girlfriend. She got the game recently, so we're playing it, but...
I still rated it like 5 out of 5. It's just that it's a 5 out of 5, but it has a lot of issues.
Yeah, it still has a lot of asterisks, for example. I still like it a lot. It's still my favorite game of all time, or one of my favorites, and still my favorite Smash game. But there's a lot of other things I would love to see in a future Smash game that Brawl did well, like the single-player content, or that Smash 4 did well, sort of, with some things in the online, I want to say, at least. Not the whole online, but at least some things in the online that
Battle arenas were good.
Yeah. Maybe some things that Melee did well. Isn't that right, Klaus? Maybe some things that Melee did well, like the adventure mode.
I mean,
even then, in adventure mode, I have my gripes with it.
Adventure mode is more like just like classic mode with more bells and whistles, and it just had like some extra. It had things like the what was it called, like the temple maze or something.
The Great Maze. No, maze. No, it was maze. It's something in maze because you have to find the triforce.
It was the temple. Oh no, underground maze.
Yeah, it's underground maze, because I was like, it's not the Great Maze, that's Brawl. Okay, that had the one where it was like some futuristic facility, and you had to basically like run to the exit, but there were like a bunch of exits, so the further you went in, the higher your score would be. It had stuff like that. I mean, adventure mode wasn't anything special. I mean, it was there. But there's nothing that like Melee has really that you could incorporate into the future games, because they already kind of did it. Because Melee didn't have a whole lot to it outside of, well, it had, of course, some multiplayer, had adventure mode, classic mode, all the event stadium things, and
All-Star.
All-Star,
All-Star mode. So yeah.
I think the other thing that the Melee Adventure Mode had is just really, it's locations from the games, which I would appreciate if Brawl had something like that. Or again, World of Light actually did a good job at it. It's
pretty
just,
much.
We didn't interact with it. It's like we said, we didn't interact with it. It's just, it's a visual. That's it.
yeah, pretty much. I mean, I guess the one thing I could take from Melee is they could take the wave dashing.
Wave dashing!
That's it.
Technically, Ultimate has wave dashing, but it's incredibly nerfed because there's actually a bit of a delay. But because when you hit the ground with your diagonal air dodge in Ultimate, your character gets up faster, making wave dashing just not as optimal as Melee.
That's kind of more like the L canceling sort of. But
L canceling would be
almost.
L canceling is like canceling the animation of your aerial moves when they land on the ground.
yeah, but it just reminds me of like getting up faster, you're just back in the fray a little bit faster. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So, all right. With that being said, that is the end of part 1 of the Super Smash Bros. Commentary. Super Smash Bros. Brawl commentary, sorry. And we'll see you all next time. Later.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, everyone.